understand what is going on. And I'm very happy that more and more people are understanding what is going on. It's very clear.
As hacking charges intensify by the opposition against the government sources refute these charges and claim that there is software malfunction by Apple, while on the other hand, Apple has also issued a statement saying that Apple does not attribute the threat notifications to any specific state-sponsored attacker and that Apple has sent threat notifications to individuals whose accounts are in nearly 150 countries.
ये ऐसे लोग हैं जो आज एप्पल ने एडवाइजरी जारी की है। 150 देशों में इन्होंने एडवाइजरी जारी की है। 150 देशों में एडवाइजरी जारी की है। अगर आप एप्पल के मेल का क्लियर देखेंगे, बहुत क्लियर है। कहीं पर कोई उनके पास जानकारी नहीं है क्लियर, वो केवल एक हाइपोथेटिकल या फिर केवल एक एस्टिमेट के बेसिस पे लोगों को उन्होंने ये अलर्ट भेजा है।
ED has summoned Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on the 2nd of November for questioning in connection with alleged irregularities in the now scrapped excise policy case. Mega face-off erupts over Liquorgate. Union Minister Anurag Thakur hits out at the Aam Aadmi Party government and says that the corrupt face of Aam Aadmi Party has been exposed.
सरकार बनने के 2 महीने के अंदर ही इनके स्वास्थ्य मंत्री को भ्रष्टाचार के चलते इस्तीफा देना पड़ा। आज हालत ये है कि ये पता नहीं कि इनके मंत्री जेल में ज्यादा हैं कि बाहर हैं। तो इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं, जिसका मुखिया ही ऐसा हो जो ईमानदारी के सर्टिफिकेट बांटता हो, तो पता है कि आशीर्वाद किसका था, किसके कहने पे भ्रष्टाचार हो रहा था और पूरा षड्यंत्र कहां से रचा जा रहा था।
As face-off erupts over Liquorgate, Aam Aadmi Party has hit back at the central government and said that the targeting of those who speak against the BJP and the misuse of ED and CBI will not end, that all the leaders of opposition and INDIA alliance will also be put in jail.
In November, Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned not for questioning, but because Bharatiya Janata Party wants to arrest him. You can see a very clear pattern that one after the other, without any evidence, senior leaders of Aam Aadmi Party are getting arrested and put in jail. And the ED has a magic weapon, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, in which you can arrest anyone without having any definitive proof. And once you arrest them under PMLA, then you don't even get bail in that act.
Prime Minister Modi today on the occasion of Rashtriya Ekta Divas has hit out at the anti-India lobby and said that some cannot digest India's unity.
एक बहुत बड़ा पॉलिटिकल धड़ा ऐसा है जिसे सकारात्मक राजनीति का कोई तरीका नहीं दिख रहा। दुर्भाग्य से ये पॉलिटिकल धड़ा ऐसे ऐसे हथकंडों को अपना रहा है जो समाज और देश के खिलाफ है।
Addressing Rashtriya Ekta Divas at Statue of Unity, Prime Minister Modi said appeasement politics is the biggest obstacle for our country's progress. He further warned every Indian to be wary of those with a mindset of appeasement and those who go to courts to save terrorists.
की एकता के रास्ते में हमारी विकास यात्रा में सबसे बड़ी रुकावट है तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति। भारत के बीते कई दशक साक्षी हैं कि तुष्टीकरण करने वालों को आतंकवाद, उसकी भयानकता, उसकी विकरालता कभी दिखाई नहीं देता।
Kerala police has registered an FIR against Union Minister of State Rajiv Chandrasekhar. He has been accused of allegedly making statements that promote enmity between different groups. After Kerala police filed an FIR against Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar for alleged hate speech in context of the Kochi Convention Centre blast, Union Minister V. Muralidharan said that the agencies of the Government of India are already on the job of investigation of the blast that happened in the prayer meeting in Kerala. He further said that this issue of blast is being utilized by the state government against BJP.
The Government of India, the agencies of the Government of India are already on the job of investigation into the bomb blast that happened in a prayer meeting the other day in Cochin in Kerala. I don't want to say anything more on the progress of the investigation. I am sure that in the course of time, we will get to know the persons or the issues that has to be brought to the public notice about that.
As the showdown over Maratha quota continues, Karnataka bus was set ablaze by protesters, after which the Kalyan Karnataka Road Transport Corporation has suspended its bus services to Maharashtra. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde spoke to reservation activist Manoj Jarange Patil on the phone and gave him an assurance that the government was working out a solution for the ongoing chaos over Maratha reservation route. As the Mahua payoff scam explodes, defamation plea hearing against BJP MP Nishikant Dubey has now been deferred to the 5th of November. Aam Aadmi Party MLA Kulwant Singh's house from Mohali has been raided by ED in connection with the liquor scam. Kulwant Singh is a real estate baron of Punjab, and the raids that were conducted at his residence were in Mohali. Andhra Pradesh High Court grants interim bail to former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and TDP Chief N. Chandrababu Naidu for 4 weeks in the skill development case. A special court in Mumbai presiding over the matters related to MPs and MLAs has convicted Maharashtra BJP MLA from Sayan Kolivada, Tamil Selvan and 4 others in a 2017 matter on charges including unlawful assembly and voluntarily causing her to deter a public servant from his duty. The BJP MLA was part of the protest against PMC employees and officers who had come to the Sayan Kolivada area to disconnect water and electricity supply for a few buildings in 2017. Family members of Union Minister and BJP candidate Narendra Singh Tomar have mounted an extensive campaigning for his victory in the upcoming polls. Tomar is in the fray from the Mani Assembly seat in the district of Morena in Madhya Pradesh. The state is scheduled to undergo polls in one phase on the 17th of November, and the counting of votes will take place on the 3rd of December. Huge cache of arms and ammunition that were recovered from Kunzar area of Baramulla district during a cordon and search operation in the area. This comes after there was a tip-off that was received about the suspicious movement of armed terrorists in Kunzar, Baramulla, a search operation that was launched thereafter in this area by forces. Tamil Nadu government moves Supreme Court against Governor R.N. Ravi over alleged delay in clearing bills and government orders which were passed by Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on Tuesday urged Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav to extend the Vande Bharat Express running on the Bengaluru-Hubballi-Dharwad route up to Belagavi city in order to boost the connectivity between Karnataka, Goa and Maharashtra. After targeted mob attack at Russia airport, Putin says West and Ukraine are behind the attack. He called it an attempt to destabilize and split their multinational and multi-religious society. On Monday, an Italian Air Force plane transporting 16 tons of essential supplies for Palestinian civilians in Gaza landed in Egypt. The aircraft taxied on an Egyptian runway, having departed from a United Nations facility in Brindisi, Italy on the 30th of October. The 24-day-old Palestine-Israel conflict that has tragically claimed over 9,800 lives in these days. Gaza has reported 8,306 Palestinian casualties with 110 deaths in the West Bank. It all began with a large-scale Hamas attack on Israeli military that targeted towns and their forces on the 7th of October that resulted in at least 1,400 casualties in Israel. This according to Israeli health authorities. In his Beijing speech, Singapore's Defence Minister Ng Hen stressed on the importance of Asian countries avoiding physical conflicts and called for improved relations between China and the United States. He emphasized on the necessity for both nations to work together and address global challenges effectively. Israeli ground forces attacked northern Gaza, targeting Hamas militants and their infrastructure. Approximately 8 lakh people who had fled the area since the war had begun, over 3 weeks ago, while Israeli air warplanes continued to strike across the sealed-off territory. Amid ongoing Israeli airstrikes, thousands of individuals have sought refuge at Al-Quds Hospital in Gaza. Now, according to the Palestine Red Crescent Society, as the information has been furnished, the hospital is now providing shelter for approximately 14,000 people who have been displaced since the Israeli-Hamas conflict began on the 7th of October. At the UN meeting, a representative emphasized that 64 UNRWA staff members lost their lives in the past 3 weeks and underscored the imperative need to safeguard the lives of UN personnel. Hundreds of thousands of people who had gathered at a London rally in support of Palestine, urging UK government to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. This calls for action. This call for action that came in response to Israel's heightened military response following the October 7 Hamas attack. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said that US is aiding Gaza with humanitarian relief. The largest aid convoy since the Israel-Hamas conflict began entered Gaza, but shortages persist as people break into warehouses seeking food. State Department says 45 trucks with humanitarian aid for Gaza went through the Rafah crossing on Sunday, the highest number to date. Matthew Miller, the State Department spokesperson, says a total of 150 trucks that entered with humanitarian aid since the effort began. Relief workers, however, have said the largest convoy of humanitarian aid to arrive in Gaza still fell far short of needs. Rockets from Gaza intercepted over Tel Aviv by Iron Dome on Monday. Israeli ground forces advanced into Gaza's main city, with the Iron Dome system having intercepted thousands of Gaza-launched rockets since 2011. Israeli military said a female soldier captured during Hamas's brutal October 7 incursion was rescued in Gaza, the first since the week-long war that began in the evening. The briefing that was delivered by Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, who said that Israeli soldier Ori Megdish was rescued during a ground operation on Saturday evening. A watchdog group advocating for press freedom said that the strikes that hit a group of journalists in southern Lebanon earlier this month, killing one, were targeted rather than accidental, and that the journalists were clearly identified as press. Israeli airstrikes targeted warehouses that were storing food supplies and materials that civilians were using to light fire and cook meals in Tal al-Hawa area. Hamas said its fighters have engaged in confrontations with Israeli forces northwest of Gaza City, killing one soldier and shelling 2 armored vehicles. Throngs of demonstrators gathered in front of the Israeli embassy in the Philippine capital Manila to denounce the Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip, during which a clash broke out between protesters and the cops. Israeli forces have arrested 60 Palestinians across the occupied West Bank, and most of the arrests took place in Bethlehem, Hebron and Nablus, with some taking place in Salfit, Jenin, Tulkaram, Ramallah and Jerusalem. Israeli officials are going back on their promised refusal to grant entry visas to UN officials, including the WHO regional chief and UN aid coordinator who visited Israel.
visas. I can tell you that here in Geneva that we are working with the different organizations. They come to Israel, they come to Gaza. We need their need to be there. We understand their need to be there. Martin Griffith is indeed in Israel right now, and other officials are there. I can tell you that Dr. Hans Kluge, the head of WHO Europe, has landed just now in Israel as well.
Israeli military rescued soldier Ori Megadish from Hamas captivity in Gaza. This marked the first rescue of a captured soldier since the beginning of the long conflict. Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari shared this update during his evening briefing. Netanyahu also said that he would not agree to a ceasefire, saying it would be tantamount to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. That will not happen. Israel did not start this war. Israel did not want this war, but Israel will win this war. That's the statement he made.
Or after the terrorist attack of 9/11, Israel will not agree to a cessation of hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October 7th. Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. States would not agree to a ceasefire after the bombing of Pearl Harbor or after the terrorist attack of 9/11. Israel will not agree to a cessation of hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October 7th.
China's Shenzhou 16 space crew returned on Earth on Tuesday morning after a 5-month stay in the Tiangong space station. Commander and veteran astronaut Jing Tianping, who was the first to come out of the return capsule, said that it was an error-free mission. Haiti government has banned all chartered flights to Nicaragua that migrants fleeing poverty and violence had been increasingly using in their quest to reach the United States. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken held a meeting with Nepal's counterpart Narayan Prakash Saud and emphasized the strength of the partnership between the two nations. The two leaders discussed expanded development, finance cooperation, investment in Nepal, including a new $125 million loan to a Nepalese bank to provide loans to small and medium-sized enterprises. Sultan bin Ahmed Al Jaber, COP28 president, addressed a record number of ministers and delegations from around the world at the opening session of pre-COP, declaring the international community needs to unite on climate action and that we have to come through, we must unite, unquote. Beijing implemented the odd-even road rationing scheme after Chinese capital issued its first red alert for air pollution this year. At least 48 people died when Category 5 Hurricane Otis slammed into Mexico's southern Pacific coast, most of them in Acapulco, as the death toll continued to climb. Families buried loved ones. Lionel Messi claimed his 8th Ballon d'Or after leading Argentina to World Cup victory in 2022, scoring 2 goals in the finals, helping Argentina secure their first World Cup title since 1986. The award was presented to Messi at a ceremony in Paris, adding to his previous 7 Ballon d'Or wins. Coco Gauff made a dynamic start to her WTA Finals CanCon journey, crushing the 6 seeds Ons Jabeur. Notably, Gauff is the first teenager to achieve 50 or more victories in a season since Caroline Wozniacki did so in 2009. Wilder Cartagena's stunning long-range goal clinched a 1-0 victory for Orlando City in the MLS Cup playoffs opener against Nashville. Nashville faces a must-win situation in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series to avoid elimination. World number 2 Carlos Alcaraz prepared for the Paris Masters by practicing with world number 1 Novak Djokovic. They could meet in the final as the top 2 seeds, potentially marking their 5th tour level encounter, with each having won twice before. And And cutting across to breaking news coming in, Union Minister has put out details of government inquiry. He's put out the answers that have been asked to Apple. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, after today's threat notifications being received by many people, including MPs and those in geopolitics, we expect Apple to clarify the following. If its devices are secure, why these threat notifications are being sent to people in over 150 countries, because Apple has repeatedly claimed their products are designed for privacy. Why is it that such occurrences are taking place? He also said that our government is committed and duty-bound to protect privacy of our citizens, and we take this responsibility very seriously. The government will investigate these threat notifications and also Apple's claims of being secure and privacy-compliant devices is being looked into. Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor is joining us on the broadcast to give us further details on the same. Over to you, Abhishek.
Well, so this is coming in from a tweet by Minister of State in the Information Technology Ministry, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Suresha, and basically responding to the controversy and the who and cry raised by the opposition. The minister, after, of course, his senior minister having addressed at press conference, is clarifying that they have sought some specific details from Apple. They want the company to clarify if its devices are secure, and if yes, then why these threat notifications are sent to people in India and, of course, around the world, 150 countries, as has come through the clarification of Apple. Also, the government wants to know from Apple, because Apple has repeatedly claimed their products are designed for privacy, what they have done to address these. The government, of course, Rajiv Chandrasekhar goes on to say that is committed to protect privacy of our citizens, and of course opposition leaders have similar rights, and the government will investigate these threat notifications as also Apple's claims for being secure and privacy compliant corporation, and if yes, then why have they failed, leading to this commotion that we have seen since morning, with one after another opposition leaders coming out and slamming the government, essentially alluding to the possibility of these threat notifications connected with some kind of snooping being done, because the notifications language mentioned that there could be state-sponsored hackers trying to fish out information from their mobile phone and whatever is present on their phone. So I think there are multiple clarifications now that have come from the government, source-based information that we broke first for our viewers early in the morning, immediately after all this brouhaha was raised by the opposition. Then, of course, there was subsequent to press conference of Rahul Gandhi, a statement that came in from Apple, and then we had Union Minister for Information and Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, addressing press conference from Bhopal, where he's campaigning for the Madhya Pradesh elections, where he's in charge. And then now we have a tweet giving details of what the government has sought from Apple in terms of its own investigation into the opposition charges that came up through subsequent to the notifications reaching some of their mobile phones.
Absolutely, Abhishek, and answers that are awaited on this front. But what more are you picking up in terms of getting concrete answers from Apple? Because they have issued a statement, but of course that is extremely vague, something that the government is also saying.
Why I think the government has, and we had mentioned this when we broke the story in the morning, Suresha, around 12 noon, that the government has had an informal communication with Apple, and then it would be followed up with a formal communication where a proper formal response from Apple as to whether their security was compromised, what happened to their claims about foolproof privacy and security on their instruments, whether there was any breach, and if yes, was it at their end. All those details need to be shared by Apple, and that's what the contours of the government investigation look like, going by the tweet by Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the junior minister in the Information Technology Ministry.
All right, Abhishek, keeping a very close eye on this story. For the moment, I want to thank you for getting us the latest on this. We have to slip into a short commercial break. Also, a quick check of the big stories we are tracking this afternoon. Kejriwal summoned in Liquorgate. Aam Aadmi Party claims political vendetta. BJP hits out. After targeted mob attack at Russian airport, Putin says Western Ukraine behind the attack.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, released recently, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
This was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists. They fired and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area. Israel is all prepared for the big war, the Hamas terrorists.
The rockets being fired, of course, at Kibbutz Be'eri only.
बहुत सारे ऐसे इलाके हैं जहां अभी भी हमास के आतंकी फायर कर रहे हैं.
Get down again, it's a missile.
कम से कम दर्जन भर रॉकेट्स की आवाज आई है जो हिजबुल्लाह ने दागे हैं.
We have been hearing continuously an explosion.
तकरीबन 50 से 70 BMP जो हैं वो फॉरवर्ड एरियाज पर हैं.
The people here were staying, but there was a rocket that was fired.
एशकुलॉन की तरफ भी टैंक्स जा रहे हैं.
हमारी सबसे बड़ी टीम ग्राउंड जीरो पर है.
A very good afternoon and thank you for staying with us on Republic. I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. For the last many days, remember, there has been that narrative that the Aam Aadmi Party had wanted to put out, that the entire case against all our ex-ministers, member of parliament is fake. They said all this is bogus, this is political vendetta. But then yesterday, with the Supreme Court not letting a bail to be moved for Manish Sisodia has changed things. Within hours, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned, but as expected, the Aam Aadmi Party again says this is vendetta. We deep dive into that big story, why possibly this could be huge trouble for Arvind Kejriwal, and in case he's arrested, what happens next? That's going to be our top focus in just a moment. First up, the headlines.
जितनी टैपिंग करनी है कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। अगर आपको मेरा फोन चाहिए मैं दे देता हूं, आपको उठा के ले लो।
The opposition attempting a Pegasus narrative rerun alleging hacking bid by the central government.
जिनको आदत लग गई है, कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करो। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते।
There is a government refuting those hacking charges. They say compulsive critics are behind all these allegations.
कि अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी पार्टी, मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह सभी बार बार कहते थे कि पूरा ये मामला बिल्कुल फर्जी है, लेकिन आज तक अरविंद केजरीवाल ने इस पूरे महाघोटाले पर एक शब्द स्पष्टीकरण का नहीं कहा।
Kejriwal is summoned in Liquorgate now. The Aam Aadmi Party says, as always, this is a political vendetta. But the BJP says, your claims have fallen flat.
भारत के बीते कई दशक साक्षी हैं कि तुष्टीकरण करने वालों को आतंकवाद, उसकी भयानकता, उसकी विकरालता कभी दिखाई नहीं देता।
The Prime Minister hits out at the UPA government. He says the opposition back terror for their very own benefits. As the showdown over the Maratha quota still continues, the Maharashtra Chief Minister is all set to chair a key meeting. And after targeted mob attack at the Russian airport, Putin says, quote-unquote, West and Ukraine are behind the attack. So first up, let's put our focus on the story that many say could just become bigger come November the 2nd. Because Arvind Kejriwal is expected to make his appearance before the Enforcement Directorate that, remember, has believed that there are reasons enough for Arvind Kejriwal to not just be summoned but also be examined in the entire case. This is the Delhi Liquorgate scam, the same case under which Manish Sisodia, for the nth time, remember, has been denied a bail by the Supreme Court. And what is making matters worse is when you have the Supreme Court talking of a quote-unquote a tentative money trail of 338 crores. What is the first response from the AAP? The AAP says this is vendetta. All these cases will fall flat, but the BJP says, we told you so. And Arvind Kejriwal, according to them, is the kingpin of the entire scam. Let's quickly listen in to all the responses first up.
See, on 2nd November, Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned not for questioning, but because Bharatiya Janata Party wants to arrest him. You can see a very clear pattern that one after the other, without any evidence, senior leaders of Aam Aadmi Party are getting arrested and put in jail. And the ED has a magic weapon, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, in which you can arrest anyone without having any definitive proof. And once you arrest them under PMLA, then you don't even get bail in that act. So therefore, this PMLA Act and the Enforcement Directorate are being used as tools to finish off opposition, to finish off any leaders whom the BJP cannot defeat in elections.
Whenever this has happened in past also, whether it is about Manish Sisodia, whether it is about the other leader who has been called by Enforcement Directorate, Aam Aadmi Party calling it a political vendetta. Whereas Bharatiya Janata Party is counter-attacking on the same, that this is the Aam Aadmi Party which came with the promises that they are going to be corruption-free. And now this trail, arrest after arrest, and the CM has been summoned, is showing the reality.
Well, it is because Bharatiya Janata Party leaders are saying this because they are the ones who are directing this entire procedure, right? We saw how in the parliament, when an opposition leader disrupted Meenakshi Lekhi, she said on the floor of the parliament that we are going to get you arrested next. You are going to be arrested next. BJP leaders stand on stage, BJP leaders come on openly on television and say, this leader is going to get arrested, this leader is going to get arrested. How do they know? Isn't ED supposed to be independent? Isn't CBI supposed to be independent? Yet, before any legal proceedings start, BJP leaders know the fact. Who is going to get arrested, who is going to get raided, who is going to have a case filed against them. How is this? It is because the ED and the CBI are being used as political tools against parties whom Bharatiya Janata Party is not able to defeat in elections.
और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की कोशिश है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करके जेल में डाला जाए, आम आदमी पार्टी के तमाम बड़े नेताओं को जेल में डाला जाए और आम आदमी पार्टी को खत्म कर दिया जाए। मगर मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ये बताना चाहता हूं, जब जब आम आदमी पार्टी को खत्म करने की कोशिश की है, आम आदमी पार्टी और मजबूत और ताकतवर होकर दोबारा से बाहर निकली है, रिबाउंड किया है।
जो ईमानदारी के सर्टिफिकेट देते थे, उनका कैसे एक के बाद दूसरा मंत्री जेल गया और जेल के बाद बेल भी नहीं हुई, और साल भर से ये कभी सत्येंद्र जैन जी को, कभी मनीष सिसोदिया जी को, कभी संजय सिंह जी को, इन सबको ईमानदारी के सर्टिफिकेट माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी बांट रहे थे। सच्चाई ये है कि जब से सत्ता में आए हैं, एक के बाद दूसरा इनका नेता भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त पाया गया। और आप पिछले 8-9 वर्षों की कड़ी एक के बाद दूसरी देखिए कि कैसे व्यापक भ्रष्टाचार आम आदमी पार्टी ने दिल्ली से लेकर पंजाब तक किया है। पंजाब में तो सरकार बनने के 2 महीने के अंदर ही इनके स्वास्थ्य मंत्री को भ्रष्टाचार के चलते इस्तीफा देना पड़ा। आज हालत ये है कि ये पता नहीं कि इनके मंत्री जेल में ज्यादा हैं कि बाहर हैं। तो इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं, जिसका मुखिया ही ऐसा हो जो ईमानदारी के सर्टिफिकेट बांटता हो, तो पता है कि आशीर्वाद किसका था, किसके कहने पे भ्रष्टाचार हो रहा था और पूरा षड्यंत्र कहां से रचा जा रहा था।
कानून के ऊपर कोई नहीं हो सकता है। जो पार्टी एक मास मूवमेंट से निकला है इसे दावा करते थे, भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ एक आंदोलन से निकलने का दावा करते थे, उनकी असलियत अभी लोगों के सामने आ चुकी है। उनकी कई दर्जन नेता जेल के अंदर है। मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, प्रमाण के साथ भ्रष्टाचार की तथ्य, ये सब उजागर हो चुका है। कई प्रकार की आरोपों में ये लोग घिरे हुए हैं, इनको बेल तक भी नहीं मिल रहा है। स्वाभाविक उस पार्टी के नेता जो एक प्रशासनिक इकाई के प्रमुख है, उन्हीं की सरकार की शराब नीति के बारे में ये प्रश्न है, तो मुख्यमंत्री करके तो उनको उत्तर देना ही पड़ेगा ना। सरकार की प्रमुख के नाते उनको उत्तर देना पड़ेगा। कोई जवाबदेही के ऊपर कोई नहीं है। इस देश की कानून व्यवस्था में सब समान है। कुछ लोग, कुछ खानदान खुद को प्रिविलेज मानते हैं, ये अलग बात है। ये कोई भी व्यक्ति कानून के खिलाफ करेगा तो उनको उत्तर देना पड़ेगा।
देखिए, दिल्ली में शराब नीति में घोटाला हुआ है और कल माननीय न्यायालय ने जब मनीष सिसोदिया की बेल खारिज की तो बहुत गंभीर वहाँ तथ्य भी सामने आए हैं। 338 करोड़ के मनी ट्रेल का एक तरह से पुष्टि की गई है। अब इतने बड़े घोटाले में जांच प्रक्रिया, जांच एजेंसी अपना काम तो करेगी, और जो अपराधी हैं उनके साथ जांच एजेंसी जो भी न्याय प्रक्रिया का पालन होता है वो करना पड़ेगा। तो अगर पूछताछ के लिए बुलाया है तो दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री को सहयोग करना चाहिए और इस जांच प्रक्रिया का हिस्सा बनना चाहिए।
So yesterday, Aam Aadmi Party leader Atishi basically blamed BJP, and she said basically BJP is scared of Aam Aadmi Party government. That's why they are doing all of this. और हम जेल जाने से नहीं डरते हैं. What do you have to say on this?
मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूँ कि शराब नीति बदलने के लिए बीजेपी ने कहा था क्या? आप लोगों ने शराब नीति बदली, आम आदमी पार्टी ने शराब नीति बदली। 5% से 12% कमीशन आम आदमी पार्टी ने बढ़ाई, 7% का किकबैक आम आदमी पार्टी को मिला, और जितना बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार हुआ, गली गली शराब की दुकानें बीजेपी ने खोलने के लिए कहा था क्या? मंदिर मस्जिद गुरुद्वारे के पास शराब की दुकानें बीजेपी के लिए खोलने के लिए कहा था क्या? आप लोगों ने शराब नीति इस तरह से फ्रेम की कि उसमें घोटाला किया जाए, पैसा कमाया जाए। आप लोगों ने पैसा कमाया है, अब आप लोगों ने गलत काम किया तो जांच एजेंसी अपना काम करेगी। तो आपको जांच एजेंसी से जांच का डर क्यों लग रहा है? जांच एजेंसी को काम करने दीजिए। अगर आप ठीक हैं तो कुछ नहीं होगा, अगर आपने करप्शन किया है तो जांच एजेंसी और न्यायिक प्रक्रिया अपना काम करेगी।
ईडी एक ऐसा हथियार है गवर्नमेंट के पास, रात हो दिन हो, टाइम कौन सा हो, कब हो, अपोजिशन का बंदा होना चाहिए, ईडी वहाँ पहुँच जाएगी। और चूँकि इलेक्शन हो रहे हैं कुछ स्टेट्स में, वहाँ चूँकि अपोजिशन के जो लोग हैं उनके ऊपर भी, मगरबी बंगाल के अंदर भी, और अब आज सुबह पेपर में पढ़ा कि केजरीवाल को भी बुलाया जा रहा है। ये कोई नई बात अब रही नहीं, क्योंकि ईडी एक ऐसा वेपन है गवर्नमेंट के पास, ये किसी को भी हरास कर सकते हैं। अभी इसी सिलसिले में केस कोर्ट में चल रहा है, जो सुशील जी हैं वहाँ कोर्ट में। तो मुझे लगता है कि अब केजरीवाल जी को क्या करना था, लेकिन चूँकि इनका एक प्लान है कि इनको बिल्कुल टाइट रखना, तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि वाकई ही अगर ईडी एक ऐसा अदारा है तो उसको अडानी का भी सोचना चाहिए, उसको अंबानी का भी सोचना चाहिए, उसको उन स्टेट्स का भी सोचना चाहिए जहाँ बीजेपी है। वो सारे ही भगवान का रूप है कि वहाँ कुछ नहीं हो रहा है। तो ये जो वन साइडेड है, इससे एक डर पैदा किया जा रहा है अपोजिशन के जहनों में कि जनाब अगर इधर नहीं आए तो आए। तो अब देखते हैं, कोई बात नहीं है।
Addressing the Rashtriya Ekta Divas at the Statue of Unity, the Prime Minister earlier has launched a scathing attack on the opposition. He says that several political parties are failing to find a healthy solution to help put up a strong fight ahead of elections. He also says that it's unfortunate that some parties are adopting ideologies that are not in the interest of the nation.
कि देश में एक बहुत बड़ा पॉलिटिकल धड़ा ऐसा है जिसे सकारात्मक राजनीति का कोई तरीका नहीं दिख रहा। दुर्भाग्य से ये पॉलिटिकल धड़ा ऐसे ऐसे हथकंडों को अपना रहा है जो समाज और देश के खिलाफ है।
The Prime Minister also said that appeasement politics is the biggest obstacle for the country's progress, and he warned every Indian to be wary of those with a mindset of appeasement.
देश की एकता के रास्ते में, हमारी विकास यात्रा में सबसे बड़ी रुकावट है तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति। भारत के बीते कई दशक साक्षी हैं कि तुष्टीकरण करने वालों को आतंकवाद, उसकी भयानकता, उसकी विकरालता कभी दिखाई नहीं देता।
After the Kerala police file an FIR against Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar for alleged hate speech in context of the Kochi Convention Centre blast, Union Minister V. Muralidharan says that the agencies of the Government of India are already on the job of investigation of the blast. He also said this issue is being used by the state government against the BJP.
The Government of India, the agencies of the Government of India are already on the job of investigation into the bomb blast that happened in a prayer meeting the other day in Cochin in Kerala. I don't want to say anything more on the progress of the investigation. I am sure that in the course of time, we will get to know the persons or the issues that has to be brought to the public notice about that.
The Maharashtra Chief Minister spoke to reservation activist Manoj Jarang Patil on the phone and gave him an assurance
that the government was working out a solution for the ongoing chaos over the Maratha reservation row. This is coming in the middle of a lot of sporadic violence that the state has also seen. Huge arms and ammunitions have been recovered from the Kunzar area of the Baramulla district during a cordon and search operation. This is coming after a tip-off about a suspicious movement of terrorists in the area, and that is when the agencies acted. The Northern Army Commander, Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi, visited the forward areas of Ladakh to review the operational preparedness for the upcoming winter season. The Army Commander felicitated the troops of the Indian Army, the ITBP and the GREF for their relentless efforts in maintaining the highest standards of operational effectiveness under difficult conditions. The Karnataka Chief Minister has urged the Railway Minister to extend the Vande Bharat Express running on the Bengaluru-Hubballi-Dharwad route up to Belagavi in order to boost the connectivity between Karnataka, Goa and Maharashtra. A special court in Mumbai presiding over the matters related to MPs and MLAs has convicted the Maharashtra BJP MLA from Sion, Koliwada Tamil Selvan and 4 others in a 2017 matter on charges including unlawful assembly and voluntary causing hurt to deter a public servant from his duty. He was a part of the protest against the BMC employees, and he had come to the area to disconnect the water and electricity supply for a few buildings in 2017. A person has died in a road accident in Punjab's Patiala. A bus reportedly ran over a biker who succumbed to his injuries. Reports suggest that this bus was being driven on the wrong side of the bridge. We head into a break right now on the other side as the showdown of the Maratha quota still continues. The Maharashtra Chief Minister is all set to chair a key meeting. Also, after targeted mob attack at the Russian airport, Putin says it's the West and Ukraine behind the attack.
Strike that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists they fired, and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area. zone of strike that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorist.
Welcome back. You're watching Republic. Let's also put our spotlight on the upcoming 5 state elections. The former Rajasthan Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot earlier has filed his nomination from the upcoming state polls from the Tonk Assembly constituency. Do remember the polling in the state is going to be held on November the 25th, and votes in all these states are going to be counted on December the 3rd. The BJP is yet to announce a candidate against Sachin Pilot. The last date for filing nominations is November the 6th. He had contested from the same seat in the 2018 Rajasthan Assembly elections, and that point around, he had won by a margin of over 54,000 votes against the BJP's Yunus Khan.
मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि पब्लिक का सपोर्ट जो आज मुझे दिख रहा है ये वोट में तब्दील होगा और 5 साल में जो हम लोगों ने काम किया है, विकास किया है, सबको साथ लेकर चले हैं और जनता का जो प्यार और उत्साह और विश्वास और जो आशीर्वाद है, ये सबसे बड़ी पूंजी होती है राजनीति में। पद पोस्ट तो आते जाते रहते हैं, लेकिन लोगों का जो विश्वास है ये दो तरफा होता है। ये कायम करने से बनता है, त्याग तपस्या से बनता है, एक दूसरे के साथ दुख सुख में खड़े रहें तब बनता है।
आप जब भी सड़क पर निकलते हैं तो सचिन पायलट आई लव यू के नारे लगते हैं, युवाओं का बहुत ज्यादा प्यार देखने को मिलता है, ये सत्कार देखने को मिलता है, लेकिन चुनाव में मेहनत आप करते हैं और रोटी कोई और खा जाता है।
ऐसा नहीं है, वो जो समय निकल गया उस पर चर्चा करने का फायदा नहीं है। मुझे तो राहुल जी खड़गे जी ने कहा कि माफ करो और भूलो, आगे बढ़ो, उसी समय में काम कर रहा हूँ।
मैंने तो समर्थकों से बात की, मुख्यमंत्री बनाने की बात अब भी है।
मुख्यमंत्री कौन बनेगा ये निर्णय विधायक करेंगे, पार्टी लीडरशिप करेगा। खुद को मैं खुद ही घोषित करूं, ये कभी हुआ नहीं पार्टी के अंदर और होना भी नहीं चाहिए।
टॉप के अलावा राजस्थान के हर हिस्से में आपकी दीवानगी इसी तरीके की देखी जाती है। आपका क्रेज बहुत ज्यादा कांग्रेस में,
लोगों का प्यार है और मैं पार्टी की जीत के लिए काम कर रहा हूं। बहुमत आएगा, फिर बाद में विधायक निर्णय करेंगे कौन किस पद पर बैठेगा।
अच्छा, सबसे बड़ी चीज है कि इस बार वसुंधरा को भी फेस नहीं बनाया गया है बीजेपी में, दूसरे लीडर्स को भी आगे नहीं किया है। क्या सोचते हैं विपक्षी दल के बारे में?
ये उनकी अंदरूनी पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स है, मैं कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहता हूँ। हमारी पार्टी ने कभी कोई फेस घोषित किया नहीं है। हम लोग हमेशा बहुमत के बाद निर्णय लेते हैं, विधायक और पार्टी नेतृत्व। 18 में भी जब मैं अध्यक्ष था तो यही हुआ, हम लोगों ने पार्टी पर निर्णय छोड़ दिया था, इस बार भी यही होगा।
सरकार कितने मैंडेट से बना रहे हैं सर?
And now let's shift our focus to the other story developing in from the state of Karnataka, where the Kalyan Karnataka Road Transport Corporation has suspended its bus service to the state of Maharashtra. Now, if you're wondering why, this is because after one of its buses was set on fire by protesters in Maharashtra during the ongoing agitation for Maratha quota reservation.
A bus from Karnataka has been set in fire in Maharashtra, and this bus was moving from Bhalki in Bidar district towards Pune, and this incident has been reported from Tururi in Maharashtra, and a case has also been registered at the Umarga police station. Now 39 passengers were on board this bus as well, and the protesters then asked the passengers to get down, and they have immediately burnt this particular bus from Maharashtra. And the Home Minister of the state of Karnataka has taken this seriously, and the Karnataka government has now suspended bus services to the state of Maharashtra as well, as things seem to be only going ahead and intensifying here. Now the KSRTC officials, Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation's officials also came to the spot. They inspected the spot. They have already conducted a preliminary investigation, and they have also submitted a complaint to the Umarga police station in Maharashtra, apart from which the remains of the bus has now been taken away to the Bidar district as well, and the state government of Karnataka has condemned this and have stated that they will also be having a word with the Maharashtra government.
After a quick break, more details on how Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned in the Delhi Liquorgate scam. The Aam Aadmi Party says this is political vendetta. Also, after the targeted mob attack that we saw at the Russian airport, Putin says it's the West and Ukraine behind the attack.
As we report from inside Kafar Raza, we are showing you the horror of the Hamas terrorists, how they have unleashed terror here on the civilians. 63 people were killed by the Hamas terrorists, while more than 17 they have been abducted. That nothing here is left lively. They wanted to destroy everything, and that is what exactly the terrorists of Hamas have done. This was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists. They fired and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area.
गाजा के बहुत करीब है, करीब 500 मीटर की दूरी पर यहाँ गाजा है। ये एशकॉल सेटलमेंट का एरिया है, यहाँ पर टैंक्स तैनात किए गए हैं। रात भर यहाँ पे शेलिंग होती रही। ये वो इलाका है जो सबसे करीब था जब आतंकवादी 7 अक्टूबर को घुसे यहाँ पर। ये बेतरतीब तस्वीरें बताती हैं कि आखिर किस तरह से आतंकवादियों ने मासूम लोगों को निशाना बनाया। आर्मी की बीएमपी जाती भी दिखाई दे रही है। लगातार सैनिकों के आने जाने का सिलसिला यहाँ पर लगातार जारी है और तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। ये हमें इशारा कर रहे हैं कि हमें यहाँ नहीं रुकना है।
This was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists. They fired and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area.
Viewers, we're live and breaking up. Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. Many updates coming in, especially when it comes to controversies. The latest controversy which has erupted, opposition leaders are saying that their phones are being hacked. On the other hand, we keep continuing the latest coming in from the Israel-Hamas war. We'll get to you all the details of that, but first the headlines we are tracking at this moment.
जितनी टैपिंग करनी है कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। अगर आपको मेरा फोन चाहिए मैं दे देता हूं, आपको उठा के ले लो।
Opposition attempts Pegasus narrative rerun alleges hacking bid by central government.
जिनको आदत लग गई है, कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करें। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते।
Government refutes hacking charges, says compulsive critics behind allegations.
कि अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी पार्टी, मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह, सभी बार बार कहते थे कि पूरा ये मामला बिल्कुल फर्जी है, लेकिन आज तक अरविंद केजरीवाल ने इस पूरे महाघोटाले पर एक शब्द स्पष्टीकरण का नहीं कहा।
Kejriwal summoned in Liquorgate. Aam Aadmi Party claims political vendetta. The BJP hits out.
भारत के बीते कई दशक साक्षी हैं कि तुष्टीकरण करने वालों को आतंकवाद, उसकी भयानकता, उसकी विकरालता कभी दिखाई नहीं देता।
Prime Minister hits out at UPA. Government says opposition backed terror for own benefits. As showdown over Maratha quota continues, Maharashtra CM Shinde set to chair key meet. After targeted mob attack at Russia airport, Putin says Western Ukraine behind attack. Viewers, let's go to the top story we're tracking right now. Refuting opposition charges of hacking, Union IT Minister has informed that the government has launched an investigation into Apple notifications issue and said that the government intends to go into the depths of the issue. Now, speaking on opposition's allegations, Ashwini Vaishnav said that there are compulsive critics who are making such baseless charges. Putting out details of the government inquiry, Union Minister Raji Chandrasekhar informed that the government has asked questions to Apple. The phone manufacturer company has been asked whether its devices are secure. Apple has also been asked the reason behind the threat notification sent to people in over 150 countries. Let's go ahead and play out the first statement which has come in from the IT minister.
अभी कुछ ऑनरेबल एमपीज और कुछ कई अन्य सिटीजन्स ने जो मुद्दा उठाया है कि उनके पास एप्पल से एक अलर्ट आया है, उसके बारे में मैं आपको क्लियरली कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार इस मुद्दे पर बहुत कंसर्न्ड है और इस मुद्दे के तह तक जाएंगे। हमने इसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑर्डर कर दिया है ऑलरेडी और इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके तह तक जाएंगे। मैं साथियों आपके सामने एक और विषय रखना चाहूँगा। इस देश में कुछ हमारे कंपल्सिव क्रिटिक्स हैं जिनको आदत लग गई है कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करो। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते, क्योंकि इनके परिवार ने जब देश पे राज किया तब उन्होंने केवल और केवल एक ही लक्ष्य के साथ काम किया कि कैसे अपने परिवार का पेट भरे, कैसे अपने परिवार का पोषण करे। देश की चिंता इन्हें बिल्कुल नहीं थी। ये ऐसे लोग हैं जो आज एप्पल ने एडवाइजरी जारी की है। 150 देशों में इन्होंने एडवाइजरी जारी की है। 150 देशों में एडवाइजरी जारी की है। अगर आप एप्पल के मेल का क्लियर देखेंगे, बहुत क्लियर है। कहीं पर कोई उनके पास जानकारी नहीं है क्लियर, वो केवल एक हाइपोथेटिकल या फिर केवल एक एस्टिमेट के बेसिस पे लोगों को उन्होंने ये अलर्ट भेजा है। ये वेग है और आप सब जानते हैं कि एप्पल खुद क्लेम करता है उनका सिस्टम, उनका एन्क्रिप्शन सिस्टम जिस तरह का है उसके बारे में एप्पल खुद क्लेम करता है कि कोई उसको हैक नहीं कर सकता। दूसरी बात, एप्पल ने अभी कुछ ही समय पहले खुद ने अपना क्लैरिफिकेशन इश्यू कर दिया है कि ऐसा जिस तरह का कंपल्सिव क्रिटिक्स आरोप लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वैसा कुछ भी नहीं है। 150 देशों में ये इस तरह की एडवाइजरी जारी की गई है। तो साथियों, जो लोग देश की प्रगति को पचा नहीं पा रहे, जो लोग देश को ऊपर बढ़ते हुए देख नहीं सकते, वो लोग डिस्ट्रैक्शन पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं और केवल उनके मन में इतना है कि जिस तरह से भारत प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में विश्व में अपना नाम आगे कमा रहा है, उसको वो डिस्ट्रैक्ट करे और उससे लोगों का ध्यान भटकाए।
Well, the opposition started outraging on this at 9 a.m. and by noon the issue was dead. Apple has issued a statement and they have very clearly said that this is a notification that they have sent out to users in 150 countries. It's something that is done in course of normal activity, and they are not able to point out the specific reason for it. Now, having said that, naturally the allegations that the opposition has made that this is government sponsored and that there is an attempt to snoop completely falls flat. We saw how the opposition raised similar issues at the time of Pegasus, which was nothing but a foreign agency sponsored story. Rahul Gandhi personally championed it. He made several statements, held press conferences, raised the issue in Parliament, but when the Supreme Court appointed committee asked him to submit his phone for investigation, he backed out. Similarly, now if anybody is feeling aggrieved, even after Apple has issued a clarification, they should file an FIR, submit their phone for investigation, and speak to Apple on why this message was sent on their phone. Could it have something to do with their user behavior? I've spoken to several technology experts and they tell me that if you are susceptible to click on salacious links, then you are probably a more prominent target as far as such attacks are concerned. Therefore, I would suggest to the opposition that instead of getting all excited on issues that do not merit any attention, they should focus on more productive things.
So, sir, do you think that is there any substance behind these allegations? Because some very senior opposition leaders are coming forward and they're pressing upon the fact and they're continuing with the attack. They first began with Mahua Mitra, then we have Rahul Gandhi, and now the spokespersons are also coming forward and they want to press upon the fact that yes, there's an serious fact behind that there's something really happening. Do you find any weight behind it?
Well, because the opposition does not have a substantive issue to corner the government with, and therefore they are going to use these issues. I won't be surprised that they will continue to talk about it till they can manage to get another issue. And for somebody like Rahul Gandhi, who's supposedly their prime minister in waiting, if he comes out and makes a statement, and that too at a press conference, and it gets negated in exactly 5 minutes, you know the seriousness of the things that he says.
I don't know about those self-generated and manipulated warnings or precautions or whatever informations they have received. I can say only one thing. Anybody who has not acted against the interests of the nation should not fear about anything. Government of India is very clear that freedom of expression, privacy, and all civil liberties must be respected and also protected. That's why those people who are doing illegal acts, working against the interests of the country, they will be complaining about all this thing. We are very clear, we are not like Congress party and other people who will do illegal acts. We follow the rules and we are totally governed by the constitutional provisions of our country.
And viewers, earlier the opposition leaders attacked the government and they have gone ahead and they have alleged hacking bid by the centre. This even as Apple has issued clarification saying that Apple does not attribute the threat notification to any specific state-sponsored attackers. Listen in.
जी, जिस तरीके से रात को मुझे ये वार्निंग आई है, मैं 15-20 साल से एप्पल यूज़र रही हूँ, कभी इस तरीके की वार्निंग नहीं आई है। तो एक सीरियस वार्निंग थी जहाँ पे वो डूज एंड डोंट्स भी बता रहे थे हमें कि क्या हमें करना चाहिए टू सेफगार्ड हमारे जो भी डेटा है, तो दिखाता है किस तरह, और बहुत स्पष्ट तरीके से कहा है स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड है। ये जो अटैक हो रहे हैं स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड हैं। हमारा स्टेट कौन, सरकार कौन? तो वो क्लियरली ये बता रहा है ये केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से प्रायोजित कार्यक्रम है और इस पे आप सावधानी बरतिए। और आज सवेरे जब पता चला कि बहुत सारे ऑपोजिशन के एमपीज हैं जिनको इस तरीके की ईमेल आई है, वार्निंग आई है, तो मैं बस यही कहना चाहूँगी, पेगासस का किस्सा हो चुका, उसको खारिज करने की पूरी कोशिश की गई, पार्लियामेंट में उस पर चर्चा नहीं हुई। अदानी के भ्रष्टाचार पे कोई चर्चा नहीं हो रही है, उनके बचाव के लिए इस तरीके के कार्यक्रम हो रहे हैं। सब जानते हैं कि ऑपोजिशन में कौन वोकल वॉइसेस हैं और ऑपोजिशन के ही एमपीज को ये मैसेज आ रहे हैं, तो यानी ये लार्ज स्केल सर्वेलेंस हो रहा है जो स्टेट प्रायोजित है। तो मैं बस यही कहूँगी कि इस पर जाँच होनी चाहिए और केंद्र सरकार को इस पर स्पष्टीकरण देना चाहिए।
No, what Apple says or what Apple does not say is not the main concern. The fact is that the right to privacy in this country is breached by the government. The government agencies, not now, since long, are trying to peep into the privacy of individuals of this country. Today the news came out from the medical records, crores of people's details are now on the public market for sale. So this is India today. The government talks a lot about privacy, right to privacy. They say about bringing an act for that. All these are on the air.
But government has nothing to do in it. Ravi Shankar Prasad himself stated that government has no role in this, and why to allege and why to accuse government of it when proper investigation should have happened. And also Apple has now issued an entire clarification. Then why opposition is continuously targeting? If you read the Apple clarification, it clearly says that detecting such attacks relies on threat intelligence signals that are often imperfect and incomplete.
No. Apple does not say even in this statement, because Apple may be compelled by many people, I don't know who they are, to retreat from their statements. Whatever they say even now, they never say that such a breach is not taking place. They never say like that.
But they clearly stated that we are unable to provide information about what causes us to issue threat notification, as that may help state-sponsored attackers and adapt their behavior to evade detection in the future. There would be some security threat. Therefore, Apple would have sent that alert. It has nothing to do with government. That's what government is saying.
Apple is even today, even at this statement, Apple is telling that they have this apprehension, and they are telling that they cannot pinpointly say who it is. It says that Apple also is under pressure. Under pressure by whom? From the government of India?
But nowhere it's written, Mr. Vishwam.
No, I'm telling you, from this statement of Apple, which you have gathered from somewhere, from this statement also one can understand that Apple also is under pressure. Pressure from various quarters. Those who can put pressure on them. It may be governments of many countries, including India.
नहीं इसे आरोप क्यों कह रहे हैं? मैसेज अलर्ट आ चुका है। सरकार न कहे कि ये अलर्ट गलत है। अखिलेश जी का भी नाम है, महुआ जी का है, प्रियंका जी का है, सीताराम येचूरी का है, शशि थरूर का है, राहुल जी की टीम में लोगों का है। मतलब ये हो क्या रहा है? डिजिटल दुनिया बना रहे हैं और इन्वेसिव पॉलिटिक्स के तहत क्या देखना चाहते हैं कौन किससे बात कर रहा, क्या बात कर रहा। पूरा का पूरा नॉर्थ कोरिया बनने जा रहा है क्या? सीधी सी बात है। सरकार की ओर से अभी तक कुछ सुना ही नहीं मैंने। उनकी ओर से सफाई आनी चाहिए ना। इसका एक मंत्रालय भी है, वो क्या कर रहा है?
एप्पल की सिक्योरिटी प्रोटोकॉल और अपनी एनक्रिप्शन डिक्रिप्शन का सॉफ्टवेयर उन्होंने अपनी सरकार से भी साझा करने से मना कर दिया। ये लेवल है एप्पल की सिक्योरिटी प्रोटोकॉल्स का। अगर एप्पल जैसी दुनिया की सबसे विश्वसनीय कंपनी ये कहती है स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड अटैक मतलब सरकार द्वारा प्रायोजित आपके फोन की जासूसी की जा रही है, इससे बड़ी शर्म की बात किसी सरकार के लिए क्या हो सकती है? और क्या किसी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सांसद ने कहा कि मेरी जासूसी हो रही है? सिर्फ और सिर्फ विपक्षी दलों के नेताओं की जासूसी की जा रही है। क्यों जासूसी की जा रही है? ऐसा क्या डर है केंद्र सरकार को कि अब विपक्ष की एक एक स्ट्रेटजी केंद्र सरकार उनके फोन के जरिए जानना चाहती है? ये तो बहुत शर्म की बात है। इस तरीके का स्टेट मशीनरी का दुरुपयोग मैं समझता हूं पूरे विश्व में किसी लोकतांत्रिक देश में हमने नहीं सुना। अगर एक आदमी के फोन पे जासूसी हो जाए तो अमेरिका जैसे देशों के अंदर तो सरकार गिर जाए, राष्ट्रपति को जो है इस्तीफा देना पड़ जाए। और ये आरोप कोई पहली बार नहीं लग रहा है। पहले भी पेगासस का आरोप इस सरकार पे लगा है कि इन्होंने इजरायली कंपनी से एक सॉफ्टवेयर खरीदा जिससे इन्होंने बड़े बड़े अफसरों की, पत्रकारों की और नेताओं की जासूसी की। ये बड़ी गंभीर बात है।
And viewers, let's shift our focus now. Amid a massive showdown over Maratha quota, the CM Eknath Shinde has held a key meeting earlier today. CM said that the report of committee on Maratha quota has been accepted. This comes as several districts have witnessed protests and violence over the issue. Let's go ahead and play out the statement which has come in from the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde.
इन्होंने मराठा समाज का आरक्षण गवाया है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जब कौन मुख्यमंत्री थे, कौन उपसमिति में थे, ये सब सकल मराठा समाज जानता है। अभी हमारी सरकार ये राज्य में कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने की पूरी कोशिश कर रही है और मनोज जरंगे पाटिल इन्होंने भी आह्वान लोगों को किया है कि मराठा समाज ये बहुत ही शांति प्रिय और शिस्त प्रिय तरीके से आंदोलन उनके होते हैं। इस आंदोलन में कौन भड़काने का काम करता है, कौन ये आगजनी कर रहा है, कौन कानून व्यवस्था यहाँ पर बिगाड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा है, इसके ऊपर पूरी तरह सरकार का ध्यान है। और निश्चित रूप से मराठा समाज को पूरी तरह फुल प्रूफ जो टिकाऊ होगा कानून के दायरे में जो बिठाने के बाद ये मराठा आरक्षण देने का सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है। और अन्य समाज को किसी को भी बाधा नहीं पहुंचाते हुए ये मराठा समाज को आरक्षण देने का काम सरकार करेगा। उसके ऊपर काम शुरू है। जस्टिस शिंदे के माध्यम से वो भी काम कर रहे हैं और क्यूरेटिव पिटीशन के माध्यम से दिल्ली सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी हमारा काम शुरू है। इसलिए जस्टिस भोसले, जस्टिस गायकवाड़ और जस्टिस शिंदे इनकी एक कमेटी गठित की गई है और जो बैकवर्ड कमीशन है उसको भी ये डेटा कलेक्ट करने के आदेश दिए हुए ये वार फुटिंग पे हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं और मराठा समाज को आरक्षण देने की जिम्मेदारी हमारी है। सरकार सकारात्मक है। थोड़ा सा समय सब्र की आवश्यकता है और इसलिए मराठा समाज को भी मेरी विनती है, आह्वान है कि कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए आपका भी सहयोग आवश्यक है। इसमें जो कानून व्यवस्था बिगाड़ने के लिए जो कुछ लोग आ रहे उनके ऊपर भी ध्यान रखने का काम ये सकल मराठा समाज के कार्यकर्ताओं ने करना चाहिए। इतने ही मेरी सबसे विनती है।
कल जिस प्रकार की घटना बीड़ में हुई है इसका समर्थन नहीं किया जा सकता। मराठा आरक्षण के संदर्भ में राज्य की सरकार पूर्ण रूप से सकारात्मक है। कुछ निर्णय आज भी मंत्रिमंडल ने लिए हैं। लॉन्ग टर्म में इस प्रश्न को छुड़ाने के लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट की क्यूरेटिव पिटीशन भी अभी मेंशन की गई है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट उसको सुनने वाला है। ऐसे समय कुछ लोग जानबूझकर हिंसा फैलाने का जो प्रयास कर रहे हैं, ऐसी हिंसा को बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई होगी। कई लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया गया है। सारे सीसीटीवी फुटेजेस हमको मिले हैं। इनमें जो लोग दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं उन्होंने सीधे सीधे लोगों को जिंदा जलाने का प्रयास किया है। ऐसे समय उनके ऊपर 307 की धारा के तहत व्यक्तियों को जान से मारने की कोशिश करना, इस प्रकार की कार्रवाई की जाएगी। जो शांति के साथ आंदोलन कर रहे हैं उनको आंदोलन करने दिया जाएगा।
All right, let's go straight to Alisha is joining us right now. Alisha, you know, a lot of developments have taken place today. First, a key meeting was held. Also, we saw a short while back that the Maratha reservation activist has spoken to Eknath Shinde. He has also ended the hunger strike. Take us through the decisions which were made at this key meeting.
Well, yes, we heard Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde clearly mentioning that the Maharashtra government is committed to give a reservation to the Maratha community. And there is one report, the first report that has also been submitted by the retired Justice Shinde committee, which was constituted to analyze and how much reservation that to be given to the Maratha community. And the first report has already been given, and that has also been accepted by the Maharashtra government today. Not only this, the process of granting Kunbi certificate to Marathas has also been started. So the Maharashtra government is completely committed to give a reservation to Maratha community, but also pledge Maratha protester to maintain the law and order in the state. Because since yesterday what we have been witnessing that the Maratha protesters who have been in Bid, where they have vandalized many of the vehicles. Also there were some of the vehicles which were set on fire. Not only this, but they were stone pelted that happened at the NCP MLA's resident. So after which there are many of the violence that has been erupted, whether it is in Bid, Aurangabad, that is Sambhajinagar, as well as many other state and the parts of city in the state. But here the Maharashtra government having a constant meeting, the cabinet meeting that happened today, where they have been clearly mentioning that the Maharashtra government is committed to give the reservation, and the procedure is already started. There is also 3 weeks time has been given to the committee that has been constituted to submit the final report.
Absolutely, Alisha. Thanks for getting us all the details coming. We have seen massive showdown violence on this issue, but the CM said that the report of the committee in Maratha quota has now been accepted, and this is coming after many districts have witnessed protest and violence over this issue. Taking a very short break, we continue to be live and breaking on India's #1 news channel, Republic TV. Kejriwal summoned in Liquorgate. Aam Aadmi Party claims political vendetta. BJP hits out. Plus, after targeted mob attack at Russia airport, Putin says West and Ukraine behind the attack. Stay tuned.
This was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists. They fired and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area.
गाजा के बहुत करीब है, करीब 500 मीटर की दूरी पर यहाँ गाजा है। ये एशकॉल सेटलमेंट का एरिया है, यहाँ पर टैंक्स तैनात किए गए हैं रात भर, यहाँ पे शेलिंग होती रही। ये वो इलाका है जो सबसे करीब था जब आतंकवादी 7 अक्टूबर को घुसे यहाँ पर। ये बेतरतीब तस्वीरें बताती है कि आखिर किस तरह से आतंकवादियों ने मासूम लोगों को निशाना बनाया। आर्मी की बीएमपी जाती हुई दिखाई दे रही है। लगातार सैनिकों के आने जाने का सिलसिला यहाँ पर लगातार जारी है और तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। ये हमें इशारा कर रहे हैं कि हमें यहाँ नहीं रुकना है।
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Viewers, top updates we're tracking right now. Addressing the Rashtriya Ekta Divas at Statue of Unity, Prime Minister Modi launched a scathing attack on the opposition. He said that several political parties are failing to find a healthy solution to put a strong fight ahead of elections. Addressing the Rashtriya Ekta Divas at Statue of Unity, Prime Minister Modi said appeasement politics is the biggest obstacle for a country's progress. After Kerala police filed an FIR against Union Minister Ravi Chandrasekhar for alleged hate speech in context of the Kochi Convention Centre blast, Union Minister V. Muralidharan said that the agencies of the Government of India are already on the job of investigation of the blast that happened in the prayer meeting in Kerala. Viewers, much more coming up on the other side as we continue to get you top updates. Kejriwal summoned in Liquorgate. Aam Aadmi Party claims political vendetta. BJP hits out. Stay tuned.
As we report from inside Kafar Raza, we are showing you the horror of the Hamas terrorists, how they have unleashed terror here on the civilians. 63 people were killed by the Hamas terrorists, while more than 17 they have been abducted. That nothing here is left lively. They wanted to destroy everything, and that is what exactly the terrorists of Hamas have done. Strike that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists. They fired and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area.
Viewers, getting some breaking updates coming on Republic TV, and as we get you more updates, let's take you through what's happening on your screen. And these are visuals coming in at this point of time of the former Andhra Pradesh CM and TDP chief N. Chandrababu Naidu walking out of the jail after his release. Those visuals are on your screen, viewers. Andhra Pradesh High Court had granted him interim bail in the skill development scam case. Those visuals coming in after the Andhra Pradesh High Court on Tuesday had granted interim bail on medical grounds to the TDP party chief former CM N. Chandrababu Naidu in the alleged scam in the Andhra Pradesh Skill Development Corporation for 4 weeks. We are seeing that Naidu is walking out of jail, and not only that, TDP will be holding a rally very soon, viewers. So big update coming in on Republic TV as we keep getting you more updates. Let's tell you what you see on your screens. This is the visual of Chandrababu Naidu walking out of jail, and remember that Naidu was in judicial custody at the Central Prison since 10th September. A day after his arrest by the Andhra Pradesh Crime Investigation Department in connection with the 371 crore skill development project scam that allegedly took place when he was a chief minister between 2014 and 2019, viewers. The bail has been given to Naidu to facilitate the undertaking of necessary medical tests and treatment under the supervision of personal physicians. So those visuals coming in right now. TDP will be holding a victory rally as well. Chandrababu Naidu walking out of jail. Now we also know that because Naidu has said that he's having some medical problems, on that ground he has gotten bail on that ground, viewers. But the regular bail plea in the case will be heard later on. The next hearing for the regular bail plea will be on 10th of November. Let's go to Aneri, who's joining us on the phone line. Aneri, take us through what we're seeing on the screen. Naidu is walking out of jail, but this is on medical grounds.
Well, Shivangi, what we are seeing right now is Chandrababu Naidu coming out of Rajahmundry Central Prison, which is almost after 50 days. Well, he was arrested by the APCID in connection with the skill development scam case, and also what we are seeing right now is that after the Andhra Pradesh High Court had heard the matter, Andhra Pradesh High Court had given interim bail relief to a big relief that is said to be for Chandrababu Naidu, where we have been seeing that Chandrababu Naidu walks out of Rajahmundry Central Prison after almost 50 days, and this comes as a big relief for TDP and also at the same time for Chandrababu Naidu. Well, Chandrababu Naidu's main bail petition will be heard on the 10th of November, but yes, till 24th of November, it's a relief for Chandrababu Naidu, and on medical grounds, Chandrababu Naidu has been granted bail. And also at the same time, the Andhra Pradesh High Court had also given few terms which has to be followed by Chandrababu Naidu, which includes he cannot talk on phone, and also at the same time he cannot attend any sort of public programs or any media interactions, and cannot hold any sort of programs except for visiting the hospital. So we are seeing that how Chandrababu Naidu, who was arrested in connection with the skill development scam by the APCID, following which there was a massive outrage among the TDP cadres against the ruling YSRCP, and now days after that, almost after 52 days, we are seeing Chandrababu Naidu walking out of the Rajahmundry Central Prison. Right now, as you can see in the visuals also, how a large number of TDP cadres have gathered at the Rajahmundry Central Prison. We have seen how back since the time there was the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu was made, the TDP had called it as an illegal arrest, whereas the YSRCP had said that because Chandrababu Naidu is involved in the scam, and that is the reason why we are seeing that he has been arrested, and also at the same time we are seeing right now what we are being told is that just from Rajahmundry to Vijayawada, Chandrababu Naidu will be holding a victory rally is what we are expecting, because large number of people have gathered already outside the Rajahmundry Central Prison, and then we are also going to see that on the 10th of November, Andhra Pradesh High Court will be hearing the main bail petition. So we'll have to wait and watch how it turns out to be in the Andhra Pradesh High Court once again. But yes, till the Andhra Pradesh High Court has today granted 4 weeks of relief to Chandrababu Naidu. So that is till 24th of November. Chandrababu Naidu has been granted an interim bail in connection with the skill development scam case. But remember, there are other cases also which have been booked against Chandrababu Naidu. That is in the PT. There was There was another case which was booked against Chandrababu Naidu in the FiberNet case and also in the Inner Ring Road case. But yes, the main case is said to be the skill development scam case in which Chandrababu Naidu was arrested. And now, finally, after almost 50 days, Chandrababu Naidu walks out of the Rajahmundry Central Prison after the Andhra Pradesh High Court has granted interim bail to the former Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu here in Andhra Pradesh.
You know, Aneri, we are looking at these images also on our screens, and this really tells you that this is a moment that perhaps the party really was waiting for. They were expecting a bail for their leader for some time around. Now, Nara Lokesh, Aneri, you've spoken to him multiple times. He's also visited the national capital. He's apprised the center also of what he believes is the ailing father, the TDP chief, and he had said that he deserves a bail. And he had also said that all this is political vendetta. But going ahead, Aneri, what does this interim relief mean for Chandrababu Naidu? What's the party going to be doing next? They've already made it clear they're not fighting the upcoming Telangana elections.
Well, yes, Deepthi, what we are seeing right now is that after Chandrababu Naidu walks out of the Rajahmundry Central Prison, as you can see, thousands of cadres are standing, of the supporters of Chandrababu Naidu, cadre of TDP has been standing outside the Rajahmundry Central Prison. From there, he will be from there he will be coming to Vijayawada, and also following which we are expecting a victory rally, which is said to be held by TDP chief and N. Chandrababu Naidu, because large number of supporters have been waiting. Not only that, Deepthi, because since the day of the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu, we had seen how there were protests which had broken out across the state of Andhra Pradesh, and also in Telangana we had seen many a times a protest against the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu was being done by the TDP cadres and supporters of Chandrababu Naidu. And now when we talk about how important it is for Chandrababu Naidu, because remember, Deepthi, in the next 6 months, Andhra Pradesh is also going to have the state assembly election. So very crucial time for TDP as well, because how there has been a massive political face-off between the TDP and the YSRCP, where we had seen that how the TDP since day one has been calling it as an illegal arrest of Chandrababu Naidu, and they had called that all these cases which are being booked against Chandrababu Naidu.
పూజలు చేశారు, నా కోసం ప్రార్థనలు చేశారు, ఎక్కడికక్కడ సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారు. మీ యొక్క అభిమానం, మీరు చూపించిన అభిమానం నా జీవితంలో ఎప్పుడూ మర్చిపోలేను. అదే సమయంలో
the love which you have shown to me, I will never forget that.
ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్, తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రాల్లో ఓకే, ఇవన్నీ కూడా తెలుగు రాష్ట్రాల్లో, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో, తెలంగాణలో మీరు చూపించిన అభిమానం, దేశంలో ఎక్కడికక్కడ మీరు రోడ్ల మీదకి వచ్చి మీరు చూపిన సంఘీభావం, ఒక భారతదేశంలోనే కాకుండా ప్రపంచంలో అన్ని దేశాల్లో మీరు చూపించిన అభిమానం నా జీవితంలో ఎప్పుడూ మర్చిపోలేను. అదే సమయంలో నేను చేసిన అభివృద్ధి కూడా మీరు డెమాన్స్ట్రేట్ చేశారు. ఆ రోజు నేను చేసిన పనుల వల్ల సమాజానికి ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగపడింది, మీకు ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగపడిందో, ఉపయోగపడిన వాళ్ళందరూ రోడ్డు మీదకి వచ్చి పెద్ద ఎత్తున సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారు. ఒక ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్రంలోనే కాకుండా తెలంగాణలో కాకుండా ఏదైతే లాభం పొందిన ప్రతి ఒక్క వ్యక్తి రోడ్డు మీదకి వచ్చి మీ సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారు. నా జీవితం ధన్యమైంది. ఇలాంటి అనుభూతి ఏ నాయకుడు కూడా రాదు.
My life has been a thankful one to all of you who have come forward in support of me and came in solidarity after the arrest after my arrest.
ఏ తప్పు చెయ్యనేను, ఎవరిని కూడా అలో చేయను.
I have never done anything wrong in my life.
అందుకని మరొక్కసారి రాష్ట్రంలో ఉండే ప్రపంచం మొత్తం ఉండే తెలుగు వారందరికీ నన్ను అభినందిస్తూ నాకు సహకారం
all the people in the state, all the Telugus in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana,
వారందరికీ పేరు పేరున ధన్యవాదాలు.
all the people who stood by me, not only in the state but also in the foreign countries, the NRIs.
పార్టీలు సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశాయి.
I thank all of them to coming in solidarity with me, coming and standing by me.
ధన్యవాదాలు, అభినందనలు. ఒక పక్క
And
నాయకులు,
also,
ఒక
I
పక్క
thank all the political parties who stood by me.
నాకు పూర్తిగా సహకరించారు, సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారు. వారిని కూడా మనస్ఫూర్తిగా అభినందిస్తున్నా. ప్రత్యేకంగా జనసేన అయితే ఓపెన్ గా వచ్చి పూర్తిగా సహకరించారు. పవన్ కళ్యాణ్
Especially Jansena party, who has completely supported us, and Mr. Pawan Kalyan, who has supported us. I thank him wholeheartedly.
కొంతమంది కాంగ్రెస్ లో ఉండే నాయకులు గాని అందరూ కూడా నాకు సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారు. ఎవరైతే సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారో వారందరికీ పేరు పేరున
everyone who has come in support of me, I am very grateful to all of them. Few, let it be few political parties and also from the few of them from the Congress party who came in support of me.
52 రోజులుగా నిరవధికంగా
Large number of people who have come on the streets for me.
ఒకరిద్దరు కాదు, కొంతమంది అయితే
have fought against the government and coming in support of me.
పరిస్థితికి వచ్చారు. అలాంటి వారందరిని అభినందిస్తున్నా. హైదరాబాద్ లో అయితే మొన్నే కొంతమంది ఐటీ ప్రొఫెషనల్స్ గాని అదే మాదిరిగా ప్రొఫెషనల్స్ గాని పెద్ద ఎత్తున సంఘీభావం కోసం
in Hyderabad, many of the IT professionals who came, who were supporting me and had come on the streets. I am very thankful to all of them.
పెద్ద ఎత్తున సంఘీభావాన్ని తెలియజేశారు. వారు ఏ విధంగా లాభం పొందారో అవన్నీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కూడా చెప్పారు. వారందరిని కూడా పేరు పేరున మనస్ఫూర్తిగా అభినందిస్తూ
all the people who came on the street standing in solidarity with me, expressing their anger that over my arrest, and that is the reason that with that it shows that how they have been benefited with the work which I had done.
ఈ రోజు మీ అందరికి కూడా మరొకసారి మీడియా కూడా
I thank each and everyone for that.
వారందరికి కూడా మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ధన్యవాదాలు, అభినందనలు, కృతజ్ఞతలు. Thank you.
And even the media who has supported me, I am thankful for that as well.
So we've just heard the first reaction from Chandrababu Naidu. The moment he's just walked out of the jail, do remember he has secured a bail for the interim period. This is on health grounds. Aneri was helping us understand what exactly did he say. You know, Aneri, there are two quick questions I want to put forward, and you can help us understand what happens from here on. Just about yesterday, there were reports that the CID has filed a fresh case against Chandrababu Naidu. They're alleging an involvement in an old liquor scam. And the other thing is that Chandrababu Naidu right now, when he's spoken, he's thanked the people. He's saying, you know, we'll be victorious. There are a lot of people who backed me. And interestingly, at the same point, you have Purundeshwari also, the Andhra BJP chief, who's welcomed this interim bail that has been granted to Chandrababu Naidu. Now, what could happen in the next 4 weeks, Aneri? That will be important to see.
Well, yes, Deepti, you rightly mentioned it will be very important to watch out what will happen in the next coming days, because it is very important at this point in time. Chandrababu Naidu's relief from the Andhra Pradesh High Court in connection with the skill development scam case is very crucial, because what we are seeing right now is, as you just saw and as you just heard Chandrababu Naidu speaking after he came out of the Rajahmundry jail, but also at the same time we are seeing that many people have come in support. After Chandrababu Naidu was arrested, then we had also seen
how Jan Sena, the Pawan Kalyan party, had also announced its alliance with the TDP. And also remember, Deepti, Jan Sena is already in alliance with the BJP here in the state of Andhra Pradesh. But then, despite that, we are seeing that Jan Sena has announced its alliance, and now Jan Sena and TDP will be fighting the elections in the state of Andhra Pradesh in 2024 together against YSRCP. So that also is very crucial, and now the relief for Chandrababu Naidu is very important at this point in time, because in this next coming few months we are going to see the elections, and how it is going to be the battle between YSRCP and the TDP also remains to be seen, Deepti.
Jyotsna Tirunagri of the TDP with us right now for the very first response. Jyotsna, good evening and thank you for speaking to us on Republic. How would you describe these images that we see on our screens? Now, many would say that this is the cadre of the TDP. Really happy of the fact that Chandrababu Naidu has secured a bail. But then many would say this is just an interim bail. Now, what happens from here on?
We can see the love and affection on the screen. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, go on, please.
Hello.
Yes, go on, please.
Yes. The point is, this is, as I was saying, this is the love and affection that sir has earned over years. And yes, today it's an interim bail, but this is our first victory. Let me put it very categorically here. It's our first victory. And in the coming 1 week, when we have the Supreme Court hearing, Supreme Court judgment which is pending on the quash petition, definitely in that also we are expecting a positive judgment, and that's going to be our ultimate victory, because this is the victory against all odds. In these 52 days, we have seen continuously Chandrababu Naidu garu has been targeted again and again by the ruling government. It's completely vendetta and revenge politics by the ruling government. Even yesterday they tried to lodge another case on him. And even for the past 10 days, we have been saying that his health condition is not so good. He needs to be checked on. His vitals are not, they're not properly giving the health bulletins. He needs to undergo a surgery, eye surgery. All these things have been categorically put, even for which they have been constantly talking all nonsense, the ruling government people. But at the end of the day, we would say, as I said very categorically, it's the first victory that we are talking about. And in the coming days, another victory is in store for us. And that's the ultimate victory. The victory of truth. The victory of truth prevailing over injustice. The victory of justice. We always said justice might be delayed, but it can never be denied. And in this case, we strongly believe this. And as you see...
Okay, and when you say that, Jyotsna... Yes. Yes, I just want to add to that point that you're already making. Chandrababu Naidu, also Jyotsna. Yes, apologies. I just want to quickly finish my question and then you can complete your points.
Yes.
Jyotsna, we've just heard from Chandrababu Naidu, who's thanking people. He's thanking everyone who's backed him. Now, clearly, he's been a very popular chief minister at one point. There is a considerable clout that he also does enjoy. The party has made it clear you're not fighting the upcoming Telangana elections. But what could happen in the next 4 weeks? You know, Nara Lokesh in the meantime had also traveled to the national capital. He's met with Amit Shah. He's kind of, you know, underscored the fact that all this is political vendetta. Where does, you know, this story move from here? What could happen in the next 4 weeks?
See, politically, we have always made our stand very clear. Even in Telangana, we said now we do not have time and the proper preparatory work has not been done for the elections. That's the reason we are not contesting this time. In Andhra Pradesh, we are in alliance with Janasena and will go very strongly with Janasena in Andhra Pradesh, and we are going to form a government there in Andhra Pradesh. And coming to Telangana, probably we are preparing ourselves for the next general elections and also the local body elections here in Telangana. So we are very clear. We are politically very clear. And even when Lokesh Garu met Amit Shah, it was absolutely, we wanted to convey to the central government that what is happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh is completely anti-democratic. Anybody and, you know, whoever is trying to raise their voice against the government has been, in fact, cases are framed against them. All sorts of nonsense has been done, isn't it? In fact, in these 52 days, haven't we seen that just uttering the word of Jai Babu has become a crime in the state of Andhra Pradesh? Just trying to express our solidarity to our leader has become a crime in Andhra Pradesh. Everything has become a crime in Andhra Pradesh. People can't stand, people can't come out, people can't take our, they can't take our flags, they can't in fact talk freely. Freedom of expression has gone haywire. Freedom, in fact, in certain cases, we have seen people have been tortured. All false cases have been leveled against them just for saying just for talking all the sorts of things that the government is doing which are anti-people. Simple.
Okay.
Today we say that
Jyotsna, time is limited, but I have to ask you one quick question. Jyotsna. Yes, because we are just talking of the political import of a Chandrababu Naidu out now. He's got interim bail, Jyotsna. Very briefly, I just have about 30 seconds. But do you believe that the BJP has been rather more keen on backing the YSRCP instead of the TDP? Because the TDP really wanted an alliance with the BJP. We haven't seen that happening.
See, we have never wanted an alliance with anybody. We, in fact, said that all the forces have to work against the anti-people government of YSRCP. All the parties have to work against the anti-people government of YSRCP. And we are clear in our stand. It is nothing against any party,
All right, Jyotsna.
for any party.
All right. It's a big day for the TDP today, and we'll reconnect soon, Jyotsna, to find out what happens from here on. For the moment, thank you for speaking to us on Republic. These are live images of Chandrababu Naidu, who, remember, still continues to greet the stream of supporters who've gathered outside the Rajamundry jail, where Chandrababu Naidu has walked out of from, and he's got an interim bail, also thanking Aneri for getting us the latest. And from that big story back home to what's been happening across in the world. And when you talk of the biggest story today, this is about what's happening between Israel and Hamas. Now, Israel, remember, continues to expand its military incursion deeper into the northern part of the Gaza Strip. 3 weeks after the deadly Hamas attack, close to about 300 dead bodies are yet to be identified. The Hamas terrorists have set the dead bodies to fire after killings, because of which the process right now is taking time. Forensic units have also been set up at the IDF base for the identification of the victims. Do remember, still there are multiple people who are held hostage. A lot of them are missing still. A lot of them are unaccounted for. And Republic has also been on ground zero, getting you the latest. And Gursimran is joining us live at this point in time. Gursimran, where about you reporting from? You are in Tel Aviv, as I can see, Gursimran. But in the last many days, as you have traveled, got our stories that are not easy to report on, Gursimran, do you sense anything changing? Is there any kind of de-escalation, or no, this is Israel that will annihilate Hamas completely?
Israel will take the revenge of the killings of the innocent, but the pictures that we see here are heart-wrenching. Dipti, right now we are in the Shura base, which is one of the base of the Israel Defense Forces. But soon after the deadly attack that has taken place on 7th of October, this base has been converted into the facility for identification of the bodies. And I'll request the officials if she can join me and share some details regarding that, how this operation can take place. Because we have seen in the past also there were some attacks, but this was one of the deadliest attacks that has taken place in the recent past. And those who were a part of the team will be joining us in a minute's time. These all containers that you see, they have the dead bodies of the civilians of Israel, those who were brutally killed by the terrorists of Hamas. I'm joined by the official who was responsible for the identification, and I'll request her to share details. Ma'am, you have been involved in identification of the bodies. More than 800 have been identified. The process is on. How tough it was, because you told me that it was ashes that you have to look for some fingerprint traces or some tooth so that you can identify who the person is.
The process began on October 7th when 4 bodies were transferred to this center. As time went by, we started seeing this and dismembered bodies. And now what's happening is that the army is still scanning the country to find remains. So now they sometimes find a body that was probably hidden in the bushes or I don't know what, and the body is brought here. But other times, because terrorists burned people, so people were hiding in rooms, and they were in one room. So now they're going to each and every village, each and every town, and they are going to these places where everything is burned to ashes, and they're collecting the ashes. They're trying to find in these ashes some human remains. So they may find a bone, or they may find a tooth, or some other.
You said you find some bodies where the miners were crushed to death by the foot. These were the incidents that have taken place. How?
I have one of my forensic investigators. Some of the bodies were children. Some of the bodies were babies. One of the forensic investigators that told me about this date, it was very difficult to get him to talk about it, because they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say anything, because this brings back everything that they have seen. But I really trust him, because I knew that voice, they don't want it. So he told me, and forensic investigators, highly professional people, what they say is 200% the truth. And he told me that this baby that they saw, and they were amazed because it didn't look dead, it's whole. And they looked and they saw the footprint, a big footprint on his throat. And that way, it was obvious for them what happened. And
so that is Gursimran in conversation with an official at the Shura IDF base, and that lady says it is getting so difficult for us because there are so many babies also who've not just lost their lives, but a lot of them are very, very difficult to be recognized right now. So that is the cost of a war. We'll keep tracking that story. We thank Gursimran for getting us those ground reportage. On the other side of this quick break, back home, the big political story that continues to storm headlines right now. The opposition is attempting a Pegasus narrative rerun, is what the government alleges, and they say the opposition alleges instead that there is a hacking bid by the central government.
As we report from inside Kafar Raza, we are showing you the horror of the Hamas terrorists, how they have unleashed terror here on the civilians. 63 people were killed by the Hamas terrorists, while more than 17 they have been abducted. That nothing here is left lively. They wanted to destroy everything, and that is what exactly the terrorists of Hamas have done. Was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists they fired, and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area.
Good evening and thank you for tuning in. You're watching Live and Breaking at 5 p.m. I'm Suesha Sawant. We get you all the top stories making news this evening. First, a quick check of the headlines we are tracking this minute.
जितनी टैपिंग करनी है कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। अगर आपको मेरा फोन चाहिए मैं दे देता हूं, आपको उठा के ले लो।
Opposition attempts Pegasus narrative rerun, alleges hacking bid by the central government.
जिनको आदत लग गई है, कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करो। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते।
Government refutes hacking charges, says compulsive critics behind allegations.
कि अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी पार्टी, मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह सभी बार बार कहते थे कि पूरा ये मामला बिल्कुल फर्जी है, लेकिन आज तक अरविंद केजरीवाल ने इस पूरे महाघोटाले पर एक शब्द स्पष्टीकरण का नहीं कहा।
Kejriwal summoned in Liquorgate. Aam Aadmi Party claims political vendetta. BJP hits out.
भारत के बीते कई दशक साक्षी हैं कि तुष्टीकरण करने वालों को आतंकवाद, उसकी भयानकता, उसकी विकरालता कभी दिखाई नहीं देता।
Prime Minister hits out at UPA government, says opposition backed terror for own benefits. As showdown over Maratha quota continues, Maharashtra Chief Minister Shinde is set to chair key meet. After targeted mob attack at Russia airport, Putin says Western Ukraine behind the attack. And on to to the biggest story that is making news today. Refuting opposition charges of hacking, Union IT Minister has informed that the government has launched an investigation into Apple notifications issue and said that the government intends to go in-depth into this issue to find out what has happened. Speaking on opposition's allegations, Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that these are compulsive critics who are making such baseless charges, putting out details of the government inquiry. Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar informed that the government has asked several questions to Apple, the phone manufacturer company, and whether its devices are secure or not. Apple has also been asked the reason behind threat notifications sent to people in over 150 countries. Moreover, Union Minister has said that the government is committed and duty-bound to protect privacy of our citizens. He said that the government will investigate these threat notifications and along with Apple's claims of being secure and privacy complaint devices. Let's listen into all the reactions that have come in so far.
अभी कुछ ऑनरेबल एमपीज और कुछ कई अन्य सिटीजन्स ने जो मुद्दा उठाया है कि उनके पास एप्पल से एक अलर्ट आया है, उसके बारे में मैं आपको क्लियरली कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार इस मुद्दे पर बहुत कंसर्न्ड है और इस मुद्दे के तह तक जाएंगे। हमने इसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑर्डर कर दिया है ऑलरेडी और इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके तह तक जाएंगे। मैं साथियों आपके सामने एक और विषय रखना चाहूँगा। इस देश में कुछ हमारे कंपल्सिव क्रिटिक्स हैं जिनको आदत लग गई है कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करो। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते, क्योंकि इनके परिवार ने जब देश पे राज किया तब उन्होंने केवल और केवल एक ही लक्ष्य के साथ काम किया कि कैसे अपने परिवार का पेट भरे, कैसे अपने परिवार का पोषण करे। देश की चिंता इन्हें बिल्कुल नहीं थी। ये ऐसे लोग हैं जो आज एप्पल ने एडवाइजरी जारी की है, 150 देशों में इन्होंने एडवाइजरी जारी की है, 150 देशों में एडवाइजरी जारी की है। अगर आप एप्पल के मेल का क्लियर देखेंगे, बहुत क्लियर है, कहीं पर कोई उनके पास जानकारी नहीं है क्लियर, वो केवल एक हाइपोथेटिकल या फिर केवल एक एस्टिमेट के बेसिस पे लोगों को उन्होंने ये अलर्ट भेजा है। ये वेग है और आप सब जानते हैं कि एप्पल खुद क्लेम करता है उनका सिस्टम, उनका एन्क्रिप्शन सिस्टम जिस तरह का है उसके बारे में एप्पल खुद क्लेम करता है कि कोई उसको हैक नहीं कर सकता। दूसरी बात, एप्पल ने अभी कुछ ही समय पहले खुद ने अपना क्लैरिफिकेशन इश्यू कर दिया है कि ऐसा जिस तरह का कंपल्सिव क्रिटिक्स आरोप लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं वैसा कुछ भी नहीं है। 150 देशों में ये इस तरह की एडवाइजरी जारी की गई है। तो साथियों, जो लोग देश की प्रगति को पचा नहीं पा रहे, जो लोग देश को ऊपर बढ़ते हुए देख नहीं सकते, वो लोग डिस्ट्रैक्शन पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं और केवल उनके मन में इतना है कि जिस तरह से भारत प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में विश्व में अपना नाम आगे कमा रहा है, उसको वो डिस्ट्रैक्ट करे और उससे लोगों का ध्यान भटकाए।
Well, the opposition started outraging on this at 9 a.m. and by noon the issue was dead. Apple has issued a statement and they have very clearly said that this is a notification that they have sent out to users in 150 countries. It's something that is done in course of normal activity, and they are not able to point out the specific reason for it. Now, having said that, naturally the allegations that the opposition has made that this is government sponsored and that there is an attempt to snoop completely falls flat. We saw how the opposition raised similar issues at the time of Pegasus, which was nothing but a foreign agency-sponsored story. Rahul Gandhi personally championed it. He made several statements, held press conferences, raised the issue in Parliament, but when the Supreme Court appointed committee asked him to submit his phone for investigation, he backed out. Similarly, now, if anybody is feeling aggrieved, even after Apple has issued a clarification, they should file an FIR, submit their phone for investigation, and speak to Apple on why this message was sent on their phone. Could it have something to do with their user behavior? I've spoken to several technology experts, and they tell me that if you are susceptible to click on salacious links, then you are probably a more prominent target as far as such attacks are concerned. Therefore, I would suggest to the opposition that instead of getting all excited on issues that do not merit any attention, they should focus on more productive things.
So, sir, do you think that is there any substance behind these allegations? Because some very senior opposition leaders are coming forward and they're pressing upon the fact and they're continuing with the attack. They first began with Mahua Mitra, then we have Rahul Gandhi, and now the spokespersons are also coming forward and they want to press upon the fact that yes, there's an serious fact behind that. There's something really happening. Do you find any weight behind it?
Well, because the opposition does not have a substantive issue to corner the government with, and therefore they are going to use these issues. I won't be surprised that they will continue to talk about it till they can manage to get another issue. And for somebody like Rahul Gandhi, who's supposedly their prime minister in waiting, if he comes out and makes a statement, and that too at a press conference, and it gets negated in exactly 5 minutes, you know the seriousness of the things that he says.
I don't know about those self-generated and manipulated warnings or precautions or whatever informations they have received. I can say only one thing. Anybody who has not acted against the interests of the nation should not fear about anything. Government of India is very clear that freedom of expression, privacy, and all civil liberties must be respected and also protected. That's why those people who are doing illegal acts, working against the interests of the country, they will be complaining about all this thing. We are very clear, we are not like Congress party and other people who will do illegal acts. We follow the rules and we are totally governed by the constitutional provisions of our country.
Earlier, opposition leaders attacked the government and alleged hacking bid by the centre. This even as Apple issued a clarification saying that Apple does not attribute those threat notifications to any specific state-sponsored attacker. Listen to what followed.
जिस तरीके से रात को मुझे ये वार्निंग आई है, मैं 15-20 साल से एप्पल यूज़र रही हूँ, कभी इस तरीके की वार्निंग नहीं आई है. तो एक सीरियस वार्निंग थी जहाँ पे वो डूज एंड डोंट्स भी बता रहे थे हमें कि क्या हमें करना चाहिए टू सेफगार्ड हमारे जो भी डेटा है. तो दिखाता है किस तरह, और बहुत स्पष्ट तरीके से कहा है स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड है. ये जो अटैक हो रहे हैं स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड हैं. हमारा स्टेट कौन, सरकार कौन? तो वो क्लियरली ये बता रहा है ये केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से प्रायोजित कार्यक्रम है और इस पे आप सावधानी बरतिए. और आज सवेरे जब पता चला कि बहुत सारे ऑपोजिशन के एमपीज़ हैं जिनको इस तरीके की ईमेल आई है, वार्निंग आई है, तो मैं बस यही कहना चाहूँगी पेगासस का किस्सा हो चुका, उसको खारिज करने की पूरी कोशिश की गई. पार्लियामेंट में उस पर चर्चा नहीं हुई. अदानी के भ्रष्टाचार पे कोई चर्चा नहीं हो रही है. उनके बचाव के लिए इस तरीके के कार्यक्रम हो रहे हैं. सब जानते हैं कि ऑपोजिशन में कौन वोकल वॉइसेस हैं और ऑपोजिशन के ही एमपीज़ को ये मैसेज आ रहे हैं. तो यानी ये लार्ज स्केल सर्वेलेंस हो रहा है जो स्टेट प्रायोजित है. तो मैं बस यही कहूँगी कि इस पर जांच होनी चाहिए और केंद्र सरकार को इस पर स्पष्टीकरण देना चाहिए.
No, what Apple says or what Apple does not say is not the main concern. The fact is that the right to privacy in this country is breached by the government. The government agencies, not now, since long, are trying to peep into the privacy of individuals of this country. Today the news came out from the medical records, crores of people's details are now on the public market for sale. So this is India today. The government talks a lot about privacy, right to privacy. They say about bringing an act for that. All these are on the air. Apple does not say even in the statement, because Apple may be compelled by many people, I don't know who they are, to retreat from their statements. Whatever they say even now, they never say that such a breach is not taking place. They never say like that.
ये इसे आरोप क्यों कह रहे हैं? मैसेज अलर्ट आ चुका है, सरकार न कहे कि ये अलर्ट गलत है। अखिलेश जी का भी नाम है, महुआ जी का है, प्रियंका जी का है, सीताराम येचूरी का है, शशि थरूर का है, राहुल जी की टीम में लोगों का है। मतलब ये हो क्या रहा है? डिजिटल दुनिया बना रहे हैं और इन्वेसिव पॉलिटिक्स के तहत अब देखना चाहते हैं कौन किससे बात कर रहा, क्या बात कर रहा। पूरा का पूरा नॉर्थ कोरिया बनने जा रहा है क्या? सीधी सी बात, सरकार की ओर से अभी तक कुछ सुना ही नहीं मैंने। उनकी ओर से सफाई आनी चाहिए ना। इसका एक मंत्रालय भी है, वो क्या कर रहा है?
एप्पल की सिक्योरिटी प्रोटोकॉल और अपनी एनक्रिप्शन डिक्रिप्शन का सॉफ्टवेयर उन्होंने अपनी सरकार से भी साझा करने से मना कर दिया। ये लेवल है एप्पल की सिक्योरिटी प्रोटोकॉल्स का। अगर एप्पल जैसी दुनिया की सबसे विश्वसनीय कंपनी ये कहती है स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड अटैक, स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड अटैक मतलब सरकार द्वारा प्रायोजित आपके फ़ोन की जासूसी की जा रही है, इससे बड़ी शर्म की बात किसी सरकार के लिए क्या हो सकती है? और क्या किसी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सांसद ने कहा कि मेरी जासूसी हो रही है? सिर्फ और सिर्फ विपक्षी दलों के नेताओं की जासूसी की जा रही है। क्यों जासूसी की जा रही है? ऐसा क्या डर है केंद्र सरकार को कि अब विपक्ष की एक एक स्ट्रेटजी केंद्र सरकार उनके फ़ोन के ज़रिए जानना चाहती है? ये तो बहुत शर्म की बात है। इस तरीके का स्टेट मशीनरी का दुरुपयोग मैं समझता हूँ पूरे विश्व में किसी लोकतांत्रिक देश में हमने नहीं सुना। अगर एक आदमी के फ़ोन पे जासूसी हो जाए तो अमेरिका जैसे देशों के अंदर तो सरकार गिर जाए, राष्ट्रपति को जो है इस्तीफा देना पड़ जाए। और ये आरोप कोई पहली बार नहीं लग रहा है, पहले भी पेगासस का आरोप इस सरकार पे लगा है कि इन्होंने इजरायली कंपनी से एक सॉफ्टवेयर खरीदा जिससे इन्होंने बड़े बड़े अफसरों की, पत्रकारों की और नेताओं की जासूसी की। ये बड़ी गंभीर बात है।
ये एक ईमेल आया कल रात को एप्पल से ही, और वो उन्होंने वहाँ पे सूचना दी हमें कि आपके सरकारी एजेंसीज के द्वारा स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड, ये शब्द उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किया, स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड आपके सर्वेलेंस हो रही है, आपका फ़ोन और आपके पूरे सिस्टम्स जितने भी आपके ये उन सब जो है हैक किए जा रहे हैं ऑफिशियली। और ऑफिशियल यंत्रों को मतलब इसको टैकल करना बड़ी ज़्यादा मुश्किल है ऑर्डिनरी हैकर्स। अब ये नौबत क्यों आई मोदी सरकार को हमारे ऊपर भी जासूसी करे? और जासूसी नहीं, ये एक मौलिक अधिकार है हर नागरिक का, यहाँ पर उसकी प्राइवेसी के लिए। ये हमारे देश के संविधान कहता है, हमारा देश के मौलिक अधिकारों पे ये एक बहुत बड़ा हमला। ये हम समझते हैं कि जनतंत्र पर, अपने इंडिविजुअल राइट्स की बात छोड़िए, जनतंत्र पे ही ये एक बहुत बड़ा हमला है कि इस तरीके की सर्वेलेंस, इस तरीके की जासूसी जो सरकार खुद करवा रही है विपक्षी नेताओं के ऊपर, ये और पत्रकारों के ऊपर, विपक्षी नेताओं के ऊपर, ये हम समझते हैं कि हमारी जनतंत्र का सर्वनाश करने का रास्ता है।
Hello, Moto. Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
माटी लेकर आए और यही माटी इस भारत कलश में है। जब ये घूमेगी सारी मिट्टी एक साथ मिलेगी और इसी भारत की मिट्टी से एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का संकल्प साकार होगा अमृत वाटिका के रूप में, जो इस समय आपके सामने दृश्य है। जो भारत कलश, विशाल कलश अपने स्थान पर एक चक्र की तरह घूम रहा है, भारत की माटी मिल रही है आपस में और साकार हो रहा है एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का संकल्प। आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के समापन अवसर पर मेरी माटी मेरा देश के इस राष्ट्रीय आयोजन में हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन। एक बार आप सबके करतल ध्वनि के साथ देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का देवियों सज्जनों, देश की स्वतंत्रता के 75 वर्षों के उपलक्ष्य में आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के माध्यम से देश के गौरवशाली इतिहास, इसकी स्वतंत्रता और स्वाभिमान की रक्षा करने के लिए अपने प्राणों की आहुति देने वाले वीरों वीरांगनाओं को याद करते हुए आज हम सब देश की माटी को नमन कर रहे हैं, संकल्पित भी हो रहे हैं नए भारत, विकसित भारत के निर्माण के लिए। देवियों सज्जनों, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय के इस प्रेरक और अद्भुत चिंतन के साथ देश के लोगों को, विशेषकर युवाओं को जोड़ने का एक व्यापक अभियान है ये, जो अमृतकाल में हम सबके लिए प्रेरणा बनेगा। इस सोच के प्रणेता माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का वंदन, अभिनंदन इस अवसर पर।
मंच पर आसीन श्री अमित शाह, भारत सरकार के माननीय गृह एवं सहकारिता मंत्री, श्री जी किशन रेड्डी, भारत सरकार के माननीय संस्कृति पर्यटन एवं डोनर मंत्री, श्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर, भारत सरकार के खेल एवं युवा मामले और सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्री, श्री अर्जुन राम मेघवाल, भारत सरकार के विधि एवं न्याय राज्य मंत्री, स्वतंत्र प्रभार एवं संस्कृति राज्य मंत्री, श्रीमती मीनाक्षी लेखी, केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री, संस्कृति मंत्रालय, विदेश मंत्रालय, श्री निशित प्रमाणिक, केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री, गृह मंत्रालय, युवा एवं खेल मंत्रालय, आप सभी का भी हम हार्दिक स्वागत व अभिनंदन करते हैं।
सामने दर्शक दीर्घा में विराजमान भारत सरकार के माननीय मंत्रीगण, सांसदगण, विधायकगण, केंद्र और राज्य सरकारों के वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण और देश भर से अमृत कलश लेकर पहुंचे सभी प्रतिनिधियों का हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन है। निवेदन केंद्रीय संस्कृति पर्यटन और डोनर मंत्री श्री जी किशन रेड्डी जी से कि वे इस अवसर पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का और आप सबका स्वागत करने के लिए पधारें, स्वागत संबोधन के साथ।
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता, देश के करोड़ों युवाओं के धड़कन, परम आदरणीय भारत का प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री माननीय अमित शाह जी, केंद्र मंत्रिमंडल के सदस्य श्री अनुराग ठाकुर जी, अर्जुन राम मेघवाल जी, श्री मीनाक्षी लेखी जी, इस आजाद का अमृत महोत्सव समापन के महान कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव, देश के कोने कोने से मिट्टी लेकर देश के राजधानी दिल्ली को आए हुए भारत के भविष्य सभी युवा साथी, आज सबसे पहले भारत की एकता और अखंडता के सूत्रधार, महान नेता, आयरन मैन ऑफ इंडिया श्री सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल जी का जयंती पर उनके चरणों में नमन करता हूं। मैं आज आजाद की अमृत महोत्सव के भव्य समापन के शुभ अवसर पर भारत सरकार की ओर से आप सबका हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं। मैं इस मंच से देश भर से आए हुए इस पावन पवित्र मिट्टी को वंदन करता हूं। साथ ही मेरा माटी मेरे देश अभियान कार्यक्रम का हिस्सा बने देश के करोड़ों करोड़ों लोगों का भी हृदय से धन्यवाद करता हूं, जिनके सफल प्रयासों से आज यह कार्यक्रम संपन्न हो रहा है। आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के गरिमामयी उपस्थिति में 7,000 ब्लॉकों से, 500 म्युनिसिपैलिटी से और सभी म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन से लगभग 8,500 से अधिक अमृत कलशों के साथ यहां कर्तव्य पथ पर मौजूद हुए सभी युवा बहनों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं। इस अभियान में भारत के लगभग 6 लाख गांव से और करोड़ों घरों से अमृत कलश में मिट्टी या चावल का संग्रह किया गया। हमें गर्व है कि अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत देश भर, देश से बाहर लाखों कार्यक्रम किया गया है। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के मार्गदर्शन में एनआईसी कमेटी के अध्यक्ष गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी की अध्यक्षता में अनेक कार्यक्रम सफल बनाया गया। आजाद के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत भारतीय इतिहास में पहली बार अपने महान स्वतंत्र सेनानियों की याद में निरंतर 2 वर्षों तक देश के नौजवानों ने स्फूर्ति देने का और स्वतंत्र सेनानियों की बलिदानों से स्फूर्ति लेने का काम किया गया है। आजाद के अमृत महोत्सव में भारत युवा शक्ति का प्रेमी और भारत का प्रियतम प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के अनेक अनसंग हीरों को राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर आयोजित किया गया अनेक कार्यक्रम में अलग अलग महानुभावों का सम्मान दिया गया। यहाँ न केवल एक सम्मान है बल्कि उनका संघर्ष, उनका बलिदान हमारे विकसित भारत का स्वतंत्रता का शताब्दी उत्सव 2047 को सपनों का प्रेरणा भी है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में अमृत महोत्सव की इस यात्रा में दौरान भारत कई रिकॉर्ड भी बने हैं, जैसे 2022 अगस्त 15 को हर घर तिरंगा घर घर तिरंगा कार्यक्रम में अंतर्गत एक साथ सबसे अधिक संख्या में देश की हर प्रांत, हर शहर, हर गांव, हर घर में भारत का तिरंगा झंडा लहराकर दुनिया के सबसे बड़ा देशभक्ति का कार्यक्रम के नाते दुनिया का रिकॉर्ड बनाया है।
This was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists they fired, and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area. As we report from inside Kafar Raza, we are showing you the horror of the house.
A very good evening. You're watching Republic and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Everyone wants to know what will happen on the 2nd of November. Will Arvind Kejriwal be arrested? Can the Delhi Chief Minister be arrested? The case is of the Delhi Liquorgate scam. Manish Sisodia, remember, the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister is still in jail. He hasn't got any relief from the Supreme Court. But what is making matters worse now for the Delhi Chief Minister is the fact that the Supreme Court, quote-unquote, is speaking of a tentative money trail. So what happens next? We'll get you highlights of that and much more. The headlines first up.
जितनी टैपिंग करनी है कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। अगर आपको मेरा फोन चाहिए मैं दे देता हूं, आपको उठा के ले लो।
The opposition attempting a Pegasus narrative rerun alleging hacking bid by the central government.
इनको आदत लग गई है, कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करो। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते।
The government is refuting those hacking charges. They say compulsive critics are behind these allegations.
कि अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी पार्टी मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह सभी बार बार कहते थे कि पूरा ये मामला बिल्कुल फर्जी है, लेकिन आज तक अरविंद केजरीवाल ने इस पूरे महाघोटाले पर एक शब्द स्पष्टीकरण का नहीं कहा।
Kejriwal summoned in Liquorgate. The Aam Aadmi Party says this is political vendetta. The BJP is hitting out.
भारत के बीते कई दशक साक्षी हैं कि तुष्टीकरण करने वालों को आतंकवाद, उसकी भयानकता, उसकी विकरालता कभी दिखाई नहीं देता।
The Prime Minister hits out at the UPA government. He says the opposition backed terror for their very own benefits. As the showdown over the Maratha quota continues, the Maharashtra Chief Minister is set to chair a key meeting. After a targeted mob attack at the Russian airport, Putin says it's the west of the Ukraine that's behind the attack. So the ED has summoned the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, but that is no news anymore. After what has happened with Manish Sisodia in the Supreme Court yesterday, what makes it very clear is that the Aam Aadmi Party and the chief cannot distance themselves from what Manish Sisodia has done. The Supreme Court judgment makes it very clear that Manish Sisodia knew of the changes or the modifications in the Delhi excise policy, which they later took back after directives also came in from the Delhi LG office. Now, who's the head of the AAP? Who's the convener of the AAP? It is Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi. He doesn't have any portfolios, so there are no signs that you will see. But like I said, the judgment of the Supreme Court really tells you why the AAP could be in deep, deep trouble. So could Arvind Kejriwal be arrested on the 2nd? The AAP says that is likely. They say there is a possibility. They also go and say that in case Arvind Kejriwal is arrested on the 2nd, he will continue to run the government and ensure that all services are delivered to the people of Delhi from jail itself. The BJP says this is not political vendetta, but instead the law taking its own course. We listen into reactions that have come in both from the AAP and the BJP then.
See, on 2nd November, Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned not for questioning, but because Bharatiya Janata Party wants to arrest him. You can see a very clear pattern that one after the other, without any evidence, senior leaders of Aam Aadmi Party are getting arrested and put in jail. And the ED has a magic weapon, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, in which you can arrest anyone without having any definitive proof. And once you arrest them under PMLA, then you don't even get bail in that act. So therefore, this PMLA Act and the Enforcement Directorate are being used as tools to finish off opposition, to finish off any leaders.
कृषि अधिकारी साहब, ये हमें कहाँ जंगल में ले आए?
क्यों भाई, तुमको ये जंगल बुरा लग रहा है? यहाँ इतनी हरियाली है, सब कुछ कितना सुंदर है। तो क्या हमारे गांव में हरियाली नहीं है? ठीक है, हमारे यहाँ थोड़ा कम हरा भरा है और यहाँ थोड़ा ज्यादा हरा भरा है। सुनो, हमारे यहाँ की मिट्टी और यहाँ की मिट्टी में बहुत फर्क है। वो कैसे?
बाबूजी, बाबूजी,
बाबूजी, बाबूजी,
बाबूजी, भैया मेरा चिप्स खा गया।
नहीं बाबूजी, आधा मैंने खाया, आधा इसने खाया।
नहीं, इसने खा लिया।
बाबूजी ये झूठ बोल रही है।
नहीं,
इसने आधा खाया था। तू सच बोल दे बाबूजी, मैं बाबूजी को बोल दूंगा।
तुमने खाया।
क्यों खेत सिंह, मना किया था, हर जगह बच्चों को लेकर मत चलो, जब देखो चपर चपर। चुप कराओ इनको।
क्या करें भाई, इनकी माँ नहीं है ना। लड़ो मत, वहां जाके खेलो, जाओ। अधिकारी साहब, ये बताइए हमारी हरियाली और यहाँ की हरियाली में क्या फर्क है? अरे बहुत फर्क है। तुमने मिट्टी में रासायनिक खादों को डालकर मिट्टी को खराब कर दिया है, जहर बना डाला है मिट्टी को, और अब जहर ही खा रहे हैं हम लोग। इसीलिए हमारी सोच भी जहरीली हो गई है। भले ही हम ऊपर से चमकते हों, लेकिन अंदर से खोखले हैं।
तो क्या साहब, यहाँ की मिट्टी अमृत और हमारी मिट्टी जहर है?
ठीक कहा तुमने। यहाँ की मिट्टी में अमृत इसलिए है क्योंकि पारंपरिक और प्राकृतिक ढंग से खेती की जाती है। मिट्टी में जैविक खाद ही डाला जाता है और हम डालते हैं पेस्टिसाइड्स और रसायन। जमीन के नीचे पानी तक को तो हमने जहरीला कर दिया है। धरती माता के एक अंग को जैसे लहूलुहान कर दिया है। हम कैसे मान लें? दोनों मिट्टी है हमारे पास, कहो तो जांच करके दिखाऊं।
जंगल में गीत संगीत,
चलो भाई देखा जाए, थोड़ा मनोरंजन हो जाए।
चलो चलो भाई, चलो 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 चलो।
ए भाई, ये गाजा बाजा क्यों बंद हो गया? अरे लगता है बिजली चमकी है, बारिश होने वाली।
ए, बारिश कैसे होगी? मौसम तो इतना साफ है।
देखो फिर चमकी। ये लोग कौन है? ये लोग हमारे फोटो खींच रहे हैं। ए भाई, हमारी फोटो क्यों ले रहे हो? हम लोग नमूने हैं क्या? ये अधिकारी साहब है, आप लोगों से मिलने आए हैं।
मिलने आए हैं और साथ में कचरा भी लाए हैं। ये प्लास्टिक के थैले, ये बोतल। अरे तुम लोग तो चले जाओगे, हमारी धरती माता का सांस लेना भी मुश्किल हो जाएगा। तुम लोग भी तो खाते पीते हो और जूठे पत्तल, बचा
बचा हुआ खाना और बहुत सारी चीजें इस धरती पर फेंकते हो तो क्या धरती खराब नहीं होती?
अरे तुम लोगों को ये बात समझ में नहीं आती कि हम लोग जो चीजें इस्तेमाल करते हैं वो सब प्राकृतिक हैं और जो कुछ भी बच जाता है उसे हम इसी मिट्टी में डाल देते हैं और वो वापस जैविक खाद बन जाता है। हम सदियों से इसी तरह प्रकृति के साथ चलते आ रहे हैं।
हाँ, और हम नहीं चाहते कि कोई बाहर से आए और हमारी मिट्टी को जहरीला करे।
ऐसे ही अंग्रेज भी आए थे हमारी धरती को जहरीला करने। तब हमारे पूर्वजों ने उनके खिलाफ विद्रोह किया था। तुम्हें क्या लगता है? अरे आजादी की लड़ाई के कई गुमनाम योद्धा हैं जिन्हें तुम लोग नहीं जानते। 1854 में हमारी दो वीर बहनें फूलों और झानों ने अपने जल, जंगल और जमीन को बचाने के लिए अंग्रेजों से लड़ाई लड़ी थी और उन्हें सजा भी दी। आज तुमने हमारी जमीन को गंदा किया और अब हम तुम्हें सजा देंगे।
हाँ, तुम्हें सजा देंगे।
हाँ, मुखिया जी को बुलाओ, इन्हें सजा मिलनी ही चाहिए।
ये सब क्या हो रहा है? कौन हैं ये लोग और हमारी धरती माँ को गंदा किसने किया? अरे अरे ये क्या? धरती हिल रही है, लगता है भूकंप आया है। हे देवी माँ, तुम कौन हो और तुम्हारा ये हाल किसने किया?
डरो मत, मैं वही हूं जिसके बारे में तुम बात कर रहे हो। मैं धरती माता हूं। मैं तुम लोगों से कुछ कहने आई हूं। तुम लोग रासायनिक खादों से, कीटनाशकों से मेरी मिट्टी को जहरीला कर रहे हो। तुम सोचते हो इसमें सिर्फ मेरा नुकसान होगा? पहाड़ों को काटते हो, नदियों के पानी में रसायन का विष मिलाते हो। मेरा दर्द तुम्हें महसूस नहीं होता? मेरी कराह तुम्हें सुनाई नहीं देती? जब मेरी ही मिट्टी जहरीली हो जाएगी तो उससे जो अन्न उत्पन्न होगा वो भी तो जहरीला ही होगा और आने वाली पीढ़ी उस जहर को खाकर कमजोर होती चली जाएगी। धरती बंजर हो जाएगी, जंगल खत्म हो जाएंगे, खेत सूख जाएंगे। आपस में लड़ना बंद करो और मुझे बचाओ, मेरी रक्षा करो। मैं तुम्हारी रक्षा करूंगी। क्या तुमने वेदों में नहीं पढ़ा कि धरती ही तुम्हारी मां है, प्रकृति ही जननी है? कृष्ण ने भी गीता में मेरी महिमा का वर्णन किया है। अपने पुराणों और धर्म ग्रंथों का कुछ तो पालन करो।
हे धरती मां, हमें क्षमा कर दो। हम वचन देते हैं कि आपकी रक्षा के लिए हम हर तरह का प्रयास करेंगे।
हम रासायनिक खाद और कीटनाशकों को बंद करके प्राकृतिक रूप से खेती करेंगे और जैविक खाद का प्रयोग करेंगे।
हे धरती मां, हमें क्षमा कर दो।
इस सुंदर प्रस्तुति के लिए सभी कलाकारों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अब मैं भारत सरकार के खेल एवं युवा मामले और सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्री श्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर जी से विनम्र अनुरोध करूंगी कि वे कृपया इस भव्य सभा को संबोधित करें।
There's a reaction that has just come in from Union Minister Piyush Goyal. This is to the Apple controversy. He's now said that the malfunction is being probed.
मुझे लगता है ऑपोजिशन आजकल बहुत ही कमज़ोर स्थिति से गुजर रही है, जो उनको हर एक चीज़ में साजिश दिखती है। वास्तविकता यह है कि अब एप्पल तक ने बता दिया है कि कुछ प्रकार का मैलफंक्शन दिखता है। 150 देशों में लोगों के पास गया है। उसी मैसेज में ये भी लिखा है कि अगर आपके पास ये मैसेज आया तो आप appleid.apple.com में जाके देखिए तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ये जेन्युइन है कि नहीं। मैंने एक व्यक्ति जिसको ये मैसेज पहुंचा है उनसे बात की, वो गए appleid.apple.com में, उसमें कोई ऐसा मैसेज तो दिखा नहीं। तो लगता तो है कि ये कुछ या तो एप्पल की तरफ से गलती हुई हो अगर उनके यहाँ से आया है, या किसी और ने। आजकल तो दुनिया भर के हैकर्स और दुनिया भर के गलत लोग इस चीज़ में प्रचार प्रसार करते हैं। इसकी पूरी जांच होगी। एप्पल को भी कहा गया है इसमें साथ में जुड़े। मुझे लगता है कि ऑपोजिशन के नेता आज के दिन इतने गलत फहमियों में जीते हैं, इतने गलत प्रचार प्रसार के झांसे में आते हैं कि उनको किसी ने शायद प्रैंक किया होगा और या उनका मजाक बनाने की कोशिश की होगी। ऑपोजिशन के लीडर्स ने अवश्य इस चीज़ को ऑफिशियल कंप्लेन करनी चाहिए, जिसके आधार पर जिसके पास भी ऐसे मैसेजेस आए हैं उन्होंने कंप्लेन करनी चाहिए और उसके आधार पर उचित कार्रवाई सरकार करेगी।
अभी कुछ ऑनरेबल एमपीज और कुछ कई अन्य सिटीजन्स ने जो मुद्दा उठाया है कि उनके पास एप्पल से एक अलर्ट आया है, उसके बारे में मैं आपको क्लियरली कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार इस मुद्दे पर बहुत कंसर्न्ड है और इस मुद्दे के तह तक जाएंगे। हमने इसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑर्डर कर दिया है ऑलरेडी और इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके तह तक जाएंगे। मैं साथियों आपके सामने एक और विषय रखना चाहूँगा। इस देश में कुछ हमारे कंपल्सिव क्रिटिक्स हैं जिनको आदत लग गई है कोई भी मुद्दा हो जब नींद खुले तब उठ के क्रिटिसाइज करो। ये लोग देश की उन्नति को, देश की प्रगति को देख नहीं सकते, पचा नहीं सकते, क्योंकि इनके परिवार ने जब देश पे राज किया तब उन्होंने केवल और केवल एक ही लक्ष्य के साथ काम किया कि कैसे अपने परिवार का पेट भरे, कैसे अपने परिवार का पोषण करे। देश की चिंता इन्हें बिल्कुल नहीं। ये ऐसे लोग हैं जो आज एप्पल ने एडवाइजरी जारी की है। 150 देशों में इन्होंने एडवाइजरी जारी की है। 150 देशों में एडवाइजरी जारी की है। अगर आप एप्पल के मेल का क्लियर देखेंगे, बहुत क्लियर है। कहीं पर कोई उनके पास जानकारी नहीं है क्लियर, वो केवल एक हाइपोथेटिकल या फिर केवल एक एस्टिमेट के बेसिस पे लोगों को उन्होंने ये अलर्ट भेजा है। ये वेग है और आप सब जानते हैं कि एप्पल खुद क्लेम करता है उनका सिस्टम, उनका एन्क्रिप्शन सिस्टम जिस तरह का है उसके बारे में एप्पल खुद क्लेम करता है कि कोई उसको हैक नहीं कर सकता। दूसरी बात, एप्पल ने अभी कुछ ही समय पहले खुद ने अपना क्लैरिफिकेशन इश्यू कर दिया है कि ऐसा जिस तरह का कंपल्सिव क्रिटिक्स आरोप लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वैसा कुछ भी नहीं है। 150 देशों में ये इस तरह की एडवाइजरी जारी की गई है। तो साथियों, जो लोग देश की प्रगति को पचा नहीं पा रहे, जो लोग देश को ऊपर बढ़ते हुए देख नहीं सकते, वो लोग डिस्ट्रैक्शन पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं और केवल उनके मन में इतना है कि जिस तरह से भारत प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में विश्व में अपना नाम आगे कमा रहा है, उसको वो डिस्ट्रैक्ट करे और उससे लोगों का ध्यान भटकाए।
I don't know about those self-generated and manipulated warnings or precautions or whatever informations they have received. I can say only one thing. Anybody who has not acted against the interests of the nation should not fear about anything. Government of India is very clear that freedom of expression, privacy, and all civil liberties must be respected and also protected. That's why those people who are doing illegal acts, working against the interests of the country, they will be complaining about all this thing. We are very clear, we are not like Congress party and other people who will do illegal acts. We follow the rules and we are totally governed by the constitutional provisions of our country.
श्रीमान किशन रेड्डी जी, अनुराग ठाकुर जी, श्रीमान मेघवाल जी, मंच पर उपस्थित निशित प्रामाणिक जी, बहन मीनाक्षी लेखी जी और आज देश भर से आए हुए प्यारे युवा साथियों, आज लौह पुरुष सरदार पटेल की जयंती है और आज के ही दिन देश के 7500 स्थानों से, देश के हर गांव से पवित्र मिट्टी को एकत्रित करते हुए आप सभी लोग यहां पर आए हैं। मोदी जी ने एक कल्पना को एक प्रकार से दो बड़े कार्यक्रमों के साथ जोड़ा है। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के 2 लाख कार्यक्रमों का आज समारोह हो रहा है और आज से मोदी जी ने जो हम सबका आह्वान किया है, अमृत काल की शुरुआत भी हो रही है। ये आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव लेकर आजादी की शताब्दी तक का ये 25 साल देश को महान बनाने का संकल्प, देश को दुनिया में सर्वप्रथम करने का संकल्प और देश को समृद्ध और सुरक्षित करने का संकल्प लेने का समय है और ये 25 साल वो संकल्प को सिद्ध करने का समय है। ढेर सारे कार्यक्रम, 2 लाख से कार्यक्रमों से ज्यादा कार्यक्रमों से जो राष्ट्रीय चेतना जागृत हुई है, आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के कार्यक्रमों में उस सारी चेतना को एक संकल्पों के माध्यम से चैनलाइज कर महान भारत की रचना का संकल्प मोदी जी ने हमारे सामने रखा है। आज देश भर से जो पवित्र मिट्टी यहां पर आई है, ये मिट्टी एक अमृत वन में परिवर्तित होगी। इस कलश 25 साल तक हमें महान भारत की रचना का हमेशा के लिए प्रेरणा देता रहेगा। इस अवसर पर मैं देश भर से आए हुए सारे युवाओं का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन और धन्यवाद करता हूं और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो हम सबके सामने लक्ष्य रखा है महान भारत की रचना का, वो 130 करोड़ की जनता एकत्रित आकर वो लक्ष्य को सिद्ध करे, ऐसी अपील कर मेरी वाणी को विराम देता हूं। वंदे मातरम।
बहुत बहुत आभार माननीय केंद्रीय गृह एवं सहकारिता मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी का। देवियों सज्जनों, देश की पवित्र माटी का तिलक लगाकर और उसे अपनी मुट्ठी में लेकर भारत के लोगों ने देश के लिए मरने और देश के लिए जीने की सौगंध खाई, इतिहास इस बात का साक्षी है। आज इसी माटी को अपने हाथ में लेकर हम भी पंच प्राण की शपथ लेंगे। आप सभी के बैठने के स्थान पर एक छोटी सी पोटली रखी है, जिसमें आप द्वारा लाई गई देश की माटी रखी गई है। यह हम सबका सौभाग्य है कि देश के यशस्वी
This was one of the strikes that took place in the Sderot city when the Israeli Defense Forces were operating inside the Gaza Strip. Then the projectile was fired from the territory of Gaza, that is the Hamas terrorists. They fired and it landed in the area. The projectile that was fired by the terrorists of Hamas has hit this area.
गाजा के बहुत करीब है, करीब 500 मीटर की दूरी पर यहाँ गाजा है। ये एशकॉल सेटलमेंट का एरिया है। यहाँ पर टैंक्स तैनात किए गए हैं। रात भर यहाँ पे शेलिंग होती रही। ये वो इलाका है जो सबसे करीब था जब आतंकवादी 7 अक्टूबर को घुसे यहाँ पर। ये बेतरतीब तस्वीरें बताती हैं कि आखिर किस तरह से आतंकवादियों ने मासूम लोगों को निशाना बनाया। आदमी की बीएमपी जाती भी दिखाई दे